pursuit of greatness begins at first light and never, ever ends. Time is the enemy, the ally, and the holy grail of every race car driver. Who will be victorious? Only time will tell. Let's go.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but welcome absolutely everybody to the first round, 2.4 hours of Daytona. Look at that Google Earth go. As we zoom in, it is going to be in the lovely state of Florida. There's only going to be one American on the commentator team of 3 that is anywhere near Florida. Location of Daytona Beach, Florida, USA. Opened in 1959 with a track length of 5.73 kilometers, with a 485 run down to turn 1 in an anti-clockwise direction. Qualifying has actually just gotten started. We are 10 minutes away from being absolutely... I've just been told we don't even have an American on our team. It's a Canadian. We're getting right down to it. Raidillon TV, the only corner you need, absolutely welcomes absolutely every single one of you. As we said before, Daytona International Speedway. Oh my god. Aren't you excited? I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm excited to see how turn 1 will fare, to be fair. Myself and Craig King, once again, we join every single one of you back once again. And we have a new boy. Mark.
Hello. Hey.
How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good, good. I'm sorry I called you American, by the way.
Yeah, we all get it. It's fine.
And Craig, as always, joining back again.
Yeah,
Hey, Craig.
good evening, Rob. I was going to say, when people said, oh, you said there's a Canadian, I think was people wondering, hey, has Craig gone American? No. It's almost like calling Rob Northern Irish. You know, it's like that.
Oh, dear.
We'll go with it with that.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go with it with that. Major series. We're finally here, Rob. You and I we've had sleepless nights in excitement for this. 25 Celsius, 77 Fahrenheit. It's going to be fun. And I'll tell you something. Everyone talks about how this is one of the crown jewels of endurance racing. One of the longest serving races in the major series. It's been here since inception in 2014. But did you know it is not an FIA graded racetrack? Did you know that?
No, to be fair, I did know that. That was one of the few things I do know. Yeah, it's one of the few things I did know.
It was one of those things I was looking, because you look at it, IMSA drivers can gain super license points for an F1. NASCAR drivers can gain super license points for an F1. But if you're doing endurance racing here, at the Rolex 24 Hours of Daytona, no super license points, because this is not an FIA certified track, despite how legendary it is. You know, the bus stop, the International Horseshoe, the Horseshoe, and of course, as you were saying earlier, the run into turn 1.
Now, I will say this. At least they gave us a good track to start off with for our first race in the majors.
It is. Well, and also, let's just introduce Mark Stevenson a bit more to those who have never seen him, or who know just the duo of me and Rob. Mark is almost an expert at the Major Series. He has a lot of information. He's done a lot of racing for the Major Series, and it's great to have somebody with that knowledge, because while myself and Rob, we've seen the Major Series over the last couple of years. The last couple of years for me, when I've been in iRacing, it's something we're not used to. So Mark's got a lot of that information that we don't know. Mark, is that? Can you? I'd say show off your strategy, show off your your encyclopedia. But no, like I said, you know a lot more about this than we do.
Yeah, when you're mixed into it, you learn all the ins and outs, but there's definitely a lot to learn from a spectator point of view to know what's going on. So with this being the first round of the Major Series, everybody's going to want to make a name for themselves. We have a few rules that we go by. One, you do get one fast repair. So if you see a big wreck, that's not the end of the world for somebody. They can come back into the pits, limp it back, or do a tow and grab that spare car. We do have 3 classes this week. There's the LMP2s. They're going to be the fastest ones on track. Right now, seeing times in the, low mid 33s, which is about right for LMP2. You're going to see GTEs, which is 4 different cars. The Ferrari 488 GTE, which has been a staple on iRacing for quite a while. There's also the Porsche 911 RSR, another staple. Then you have the new Corvette, which will also be out there turning laps. And you have the BMW Mate, the M8 GTE, which was added last year. So those 4 vehicles will be tussling it out. In GT3, we've got 2 brand new cars to the service that will be battling. We've got the BMW M4 and the Lamborghini Huracan, both GT3 cars, and they're a handful. They're not super easy to drive, so we'll see how it ends up this week.
I must admit, I am a GT3 driver at the moment, and I haven't driven the Lamborghini. I do have it, but it drives a little bit like an Audi. It's based off the Audi, the same GT3 Audi we've got in iRacing. It's based off that shell. The BMW is also very quick around here. Well, just very quick. It's very good on the straights, the high-speed corners. It's also a front engine, just like the M8, the GTE M8. So we've got that to look forward to. Times are starting to come in. They're 4 laps, and the GT3s are on their 3rd lap. And one thing that we know is Sam Harper from Missed Apex Esport is no longer here. Why? Well, because he's last season's champion. But Missed Apex is here. And as I say that, I forgot to touch the wood, despite I was leaning on it, as his teammate Stan Watley just runs off the track and takes an off track and a slowdown at the bus stop. But a 1:45.714 at the moment for Watley is good enough for P6. 45s, 44s are what you'd be seeing with the GT3s. Ryan Oliver is currently leading the way for Adrenaline Motorsport, sorry, a 1:44.933 for the GT3s, and of course that's a BMW. There's a few Lamborghinis in there. In fact, Stefan Rossmann will be the fastest Lamborghini at the moment with 1:45.234, good enough for 3rd. And Rob, we've done a lot of GT racing around here for the broadcast this week, and we saw a lot of Porsches, but I don't really see a lot of Porsches out there today.
Only 3, sorry. There's 3 lonely Porsches.
And there might be a reason. There's a reason for that, guys. The Porsche is not as friendly to drive as a couple of the other cars in GTE.
No, that's fair. That is fair, and of course, we've got to remember as well, there was a patch, a BOP update for the cars, especially the GT3s and the GTEs. The Porsche is a very quick car, but of course, it's that risk reward. And a lot of these drivers don't really want to have that risk reward, especially for 2 2.5-hour race. You want to just keep it calm. You just want to make sure that you can stay alive. It's what a lot of these drivers will be doing as well when it comes to the iRacing 24 Hours of Daytona next weekend, where you're not looking at pace, you're looking at keeping 4 wheels on the track and not flipping over, which I'm looking forward to. But you know, let's get this weekend out the way first, of course, with the Major Series. I'm still saying it. Raidillon TV, the Major Series, it just rolls off the tongue.
The Raidillon TV, the Raidillon Major Series TV. How about that?
Oh, yeah, love it. Right, so there's a minute left. Is there anybody out there still
There's
trying
still
to do
cars
ALR?
going around. I think we'll get the major There I go again. We'll get the LMP2s out of the way for qualifying as the session rolls over. So, Craig, run down the LMP2s for me real quick.
Yeah, Brian Boesma takes pole with a 143.525. Then Eric D. Fick with a Fick. Sorry, I got that right first time. 143.864. Sean B. Brown with 143.877, and joining you on that second row will be Mikael Ettinen with a 144.040, and then in fifth is Hiko Kruger at 134.047. Elvis Bananello for 134.087 for sixth. Michael Hegstrom at 134.183 is seventh. Jack Weddle 134.237 in eighth. Andy Banfield at 134.336 in ninth. Jan Brun a 134.530. Kenneth Tier 134.663, and Wolf Dietrich Hurto with a 144.772 is the last of the qualifying LMP2s.
2 GTEs, Mark. I got the GTs.
Sorry, I had my boom up the entire time.
Right on
No, go
TV,
ahead.
the only mistake you ever need. Viducio with a 147.20. Gaunt 147.868 is good enough for second. Third, Skalenka in fourth. Wilson Jr. Zimmerman in fifth position. Day in sixth in the car number 41. In seventh is Elder with a 141.662. Thompson 141.801 is good enough for eighth. Solomonson is in ninth. Thorne 10th, and finally Lalonde is the last qualifier for the GTE class, GTE IMSA class, with a 144.373. Mark, the GTDs.
I'll get on that right now. The results for GTE, or GT3 rather. You have Jeff Embry at the beginning of the field with a 144.826. Ryan right on his heels with the 144.9, and another 144.9 for Theodore Kapornoitis. I hope I hit that one right. 145.2 with Stefan Rossman. Kyle Apsey with 45.5. 45.7s for both Sam Watley and Brad Walsh. JD Crow with a 45.8. 45.9 for Mason Marzoff. 46 flat for Troy. And Scott Kukas with no time. He's going to bring up the back of that field.
Getting ready to go already. So, it's going to be 144 minutes. By my reckoning, that is going to be in and around 90-ish laps. As far as I'm aware.
Yeah. At the moment, my ticker is running 93.02. Now, that does not factor in... That factor into the lap times they're doing with practice. I mean, in qualifying, I beg your pardon. So, 90 does seem like the number, Rob. I would say 91 by the end of this race, by the end of the two and a bit hours. Now, they can go whenever they're ready to go. Boosma will lead them off. So, as the pace car slowly comes in, Raidillon TV is the only corner you need for the Major Series. I think it's safe to say, Mark, take us away for the start of the Major Series.
And they're rounding the last corner. Brian holding them up, and they're going green. Brian gets ahead in LMP2, followed closely by Eric and Sean. Coming into the first corner,
Oh!
Brian slides, he's around and then in the grass. He's
on
in the grass.
The first mistake of the major series, unfortunately. That is going to be Brian Boomsa. Oh, and Flavio oh, crikey, some more people have just joined him. Oh,
It's Scalina. It's Scalina. That's Donald Scalina just getting caught by Mike Gaunt into the first corner. And Scalina's gone all the way to the back. I did not see anybody else go in there. And we see a couple others that looks like Simon Thorns had to take evasive action. Now he spun off with massive damage at the back of that car. It looks like he just hit the sausage curves when he was on the... Yeah. Ooh, hit the sausage curves when he took the pit lane. He's right at the back of the GT3s. With all that chaos at the start there, we've not talked about the GT3s. Pretty quiet, if I do say so myself. Embry leading the way for the GT3s.
Jeff Embry has gone through the first few corners without incident, and he is nipping at the back of the GTE field. The 10-second gap was absolutely needed for the start of this race.
Oh, for certain. Just remember, there's a 10-second gap between all the classes, and with the chaos we saw, I've never seen. I mean, that just could be a little bit of nerves there from Boosma, just losing it on the first corner. Probably a little bit, probably a bit too much speed going in there and just having to turn, and car just saying no. It just feel like that. Remember, the LMP2s did get a bit of a change to the car, allows them to just take these slower corners just a little bit better without having to feel like you're having to, as I call it, stock car it around the track. But Boosma is going to be at the back of the field, unfortunately. He is catching up, though. He is catching up, and that's the key thing. And he just needs to make sure is Hoto right in front of him just going off, so he might just get a overtake here. No, he doesn't. Yeah,
Sean Brown, sorry to say, Sean Brown, he had the lead, and then at the first turn, he lost this to his teammate, Eric Fike. It was a very nice move done by the car number 60, but I think the car number 20 is going to be wanting to look back and see if he can get it in the bus stop now. Bit early to be racing each other, but a position is a position. If he can, if Eric can make it happen and then stick to his plan of just pummeling out laps, as the rest of the field is actually slipping away from behind them. Michael Etienne of the car number 22 fame, and they're actually going side by side, going up to. Ooh, crikey! That's a little bit of contact there coming down the pits, the back straight, and he actually made it through. So that was a bit of a slipstream slingshot from the car number 20 of Sean Brown.
Sorry,
Hackstrom is around after the bus stop. He got turned.
Let's have a look.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's still there.
He got turned, and he is not happy on the radio.
Ooh,
No.
Ooh. Just squeeze
Yeah,
coming out of the
Jack
bus
Weddle.
stop.
Were they taking it too wide, though? That was a very interesting
They were.
There was a cluster of 4 LMPs all trying to.
Oh, hang on, look at Weddle. Sorry to interrupt. Weddle's just taken 2 positions in the first corner. Brown and Banello both go wide into turn 1, and Jack just goes, well, thank you very much. I'll take that back. And he, at that moment, he's up to 5th place now. So making a few gains is Weddle, and this is the stage of the race I was saying earlier, where you want to try and keep in with slipstreaming. You want to try and keep those group battles, because the moment you first come to traffic, that's going to be a big difference. Mark was saying earlier, these 34, 35-second times that these LMP2s are driving, and the GTEs, well, it's a battle for the lead for the GTEs, because Oliver's just overtaken Embry, and Embry might be losing P2 here at the moment. He does. That's Capanotus just coming by, and they're doing 45, so a 10-second difference. About 10 laps or so, we'll see this. But Embry, in the space of 2 corners, losing the lead. And Mark will probably agree with me. It's just a time that you, yes, you're losing positions, but just stay with everybody right now. Just wait.
So
we're only on lap 3.
There is one thing going on here, guys. The relative humidity on track is very, very, very high. The more humidity that you have, the less grip you have, and the less power you have. So these guys are effectively driving on a skating rink right now. It's going to get ugly before it gets better.
Prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Basically, keep your gaps.
As we see, Ryan Oliver is trying to keep Theodore behind him, the car number 293. And he just wants... He's just like, please stay behind me. Theodore, please, please, please. Just don't. I just want to race. I just want to race the game. Can I race? As they come around NASCAR 3 and 4. He does actually occupy a little higher position on the track. We did see this before, by the way, Craig, on Friday. Holding just a teensy bit of position above where the bottom of that... Oh, crikey, that is Theodore looking to see on the inside of coming into turn 1. Looking to see if he can make a move, but he doesn't make the move. He sticks in behind. Oh, as we see that's a very damaged Ferrari going around. I think that is Simon Thorns, unfortunately. He started from the pits. He hit the rumble strips. And, well...
Still got the damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody else who has damage, by the way, Rob. Remember we were talking about Jack Weddle's fantastic 2-car overtake?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all gone backwards for him. And he's now in P11. Weddle got taken out at the second horseshoe.
Oh, no. Don't tell me.
I do. And I wanted to get back. Go on, Mark. Sorry.
It was a single car pirouette for Weddle. He had no help there. He just skidded across the international horse and tapped the wall. I don't think there's going to be too much damage to his car, but we will see over the long run of that car.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, the LMP2s are very, very built strong at the moment, as I think we might be seeing a replay soon for this. But I wanted to talk about the, as you were saying earlier, the banking. We mentioned it on our broadcast on Friday night. We'll mention it again. Is one of the things is you want to be slipstreaming around this track, but you want to try and make sure you keep not overtake on the high banking because you scrub all the speed off. So when we're talking about, as we're still seeing this replay still with Weddle, we talk about just going a little bit up the banking. It stops that person behind looking at trying to go around, because the higher they have to go, the slower they're going. These aren't NASCARs. They're not stock cars that basically almost stick to this banking at Daytona. They need to keep flat, and that's what they'll be looking to do. It's Weddle really, after having a good start, he's got it all to do again. Yeah, we haven't talked a lot about the GTEs though at the moment. It looks like they're having after that first corner mishap. Looks like they're having a quiet time.
Zimmerman, car number 80, in a very nice looking livery. It's very colourful, but he's also very glued to the back end of Mark Day, car number 41 ahead of him. As you can see there, that is car of Mark Day of no emission, and he's going to try and see if he can. Ooh, does he look into the bus stop? He doesn't. Wants to stick behind, just goes fuel saving. I like that. Michael Thompson though and Donald Sklenka are not going to be as quiet. I'm not going to quietly go into the night, I don't think, because this is going to be. I think this is actually from dusk to night, if memory serves.
It is. We are going to start using headlights here once the sun goes down. It's nice to see that Flavio, he's got a nice little gap there of a little bit over a second to Mike Gaunt.
Crikey, Mark Day, he's actually gone off. A lot of people going off on turn 1. I think this is definitely coming back to what you said, by the way, Mark, of high humidity. And that's Michael Thompson on the inside coming into the international horseshoe side by side with Thorsten Zimmerman. And Zimmerman has to yield. And now Donald Sklenka. Look, will he keep his distance as is written on the back of Zimmerman's car? Ooh, does he keep his distance? He does. He actually does. He's waiting.
Wide though, very wide.
He has to keep his distance though. As you have to obey the writing on the back of cars. But I think he's doing the smart thing. Donald is. I think he's doing his own race. He's lost a few positions, so I think he wants to keep it as it is now. He was in third. He started third. He's now down in 7th in class. So I think he'll just want to prepare. Ooh! No! no! It's all gone wrong. Broke too late. And he's hit the back end of Zimmerman. But unfortunately, he came out very poorly. He's back to the back end of the field. Oh no! Oh dear. Zimmerman obviously still racing, but he has lost the back end of Michael Thompson and Mark Day. You can see the two little dots in the distance are the two cars of the 41 and the 314 car and Fame. And unfortunately, you have to just... Oh, and as I say that, I've just cursed another man. Michael Thompson. Oh dear. Turn 1. Can we just rename turn 1 as We Take No Prisoners corner for this race?
I think what Mark was saying earlier about the humidity is really causing the issues. And one thing I've just noticed as well, we've missed the start of the traffic procession. The LMP2s are starting to go around the GT3, sorry, I want to say the GTEs. I'm so used to the ESS. And you're here, and it's such a difference. And I think JD Crow, after getting past Malzov, had a late move there. I think it was from Sean Brown, a late move into the bus stop. And he was forced to take evasive action, and he lost that P7 he got in the GT3s. And that is going to be a hassle. And this is one of the only races of the season for the majors that these guys do experience multi-class racing. And Daytona can be a tough track for multi-class racing. In fact, you can see right now.
Oh
Brian
no! No, Michael Etienne hit the rear end of the car number 82, being Brad Walsh. Brad Walsh turned all the way around. It really is unfortunate out there. Oh! Just, oh dear. My heart's going on 100 miles an hour. But I think it with the humidity being so high, these guys are just, they're just not really able to sort of.
Would they be used to this, Mark? Because the change of humidity is something that we don't really see a lot of. We don't really talk a lot of. I know they've got practice sessions all through the week before the race. Is this something they would be used to, this type of racing? Because you don't really get it in practices.
With the iRacing generated weather, it's a bit of a crapshoot. We've been dealing with between 50 and 60. It is currently at 75%. It is abnormally high right now. So these guys may not be used to this lack of grip. They are going to be sliding around. One driver that I do want to kind of focus on here is Brian Boomsma. He is now in 6th after that big spin on lap 1 and corner 1. So he's making his way back through the field pretty quietly. He's trying to run down Elvis Bonello. Their last laps, Brian was a little bit behind. But I think he's going to try to bring his car back up into the top 3 in LMP2.
It would be a great recovery just for Brian, full stop as well. If anything, getting spun out on the first corner of a 2.5-hour race is probably the best thing you can have happen to you, because he's got all that time just to get back in. Unfortunately, it means he's not pulling away. He's having to pull back in, and he's closed that gap to just 10 seconds as they cross the line. A lot of traffic coming up ahead. It's one of the most.
Oh no! You forget broadcaster curse for Brian
and somebody else.
And
that's a Ferrari.
57, the 57.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Simon
Thorns. He's way back right now in that Ferrari.
As he comes in. Oh, you can just see in the replay. Sorry, you can just see in the replay. He saw the traffic commotion all the way up ahead. He wanted to try and avoid it, but I think in his mind he was just like, "Oh, I have to get through the bus stop. Oh no, that's a traffic. Ah!"
I don't think he realized how slow the traffic was in terms of how just going around the lap traffic helped them. But that is again enough. I should never have made a joke with RaceBot about getting wooden tables, because I've got a wooden table and I'm still making curses. What is going on? I should just keep my mouth shut.
Hang on, I'll unlock for you. There you go. You got. No.
A bit too late that though.
unfortunately. Now, Boomba, or Boomsma, sorry. He still kept 6th? Hello? He still keeps 6th, but he's now 7.1 seconds behind everybody else, and he's having to cut through traffic again. And this is not going to be comfortable for him, especially given the fact that he's trying to negotiate himself around traffic, and he's trying to, you know, get back into the groove. He posted one of the fastest laps in LMP1 with a 1:34.489, but it's not gonna you know, it's not gonna work if his best laps are interrupted by, you know, mistakes and having accidents going off the track.
I will say he is one lucky driver right now. 2 spins in traffic, no hits. The guy is very lucky. Hopefully that didn't take up like 8 of his 9 lives for today. But he does have Jan right behind him. I don't think Jan can get him, but he might if Brian doesn't keep it together. He is in Jan's clutches right now, so we will see.
Mikhail Etienne and Eric Feek going at it again. Is Eric's teammate, by the way, Sean Brown? He's just taken off. He's putting in laps, and that is a wide line from Mikhail Etienne. He needs to be careful as they're coming up to the bus stop. He started in 4th. He's gained 1 position, coming up into 3rd. That would have been the position gained from Boomsma's mistake at turn 1, lap 1. And you can just see that's his vision. That's his vision. And all he can see is that LMP2 ahead of him. That's a Ferrari gone off. Don't worry about it. He's gone off to the left. He's keeping it clean. Very nice. Very dandy. Thank you, whoever that Ferrari was. And we've got Porsches, and I think that is another Fezza. Good old Fezza. Yes, it is. No, it's a Corvette, I think. First Corvette I've seen in traffic.
That was Drew Lalonde who went off in the Ferrari in the bus stop. He's currently sitting 10th in class. He's the second last car right now. Simon Thorns is the last one. He's way, way, way back. Minute and a half back. He was probably one of those cars that was caught up in the melee in the beginning. Had to take it to the pits. Yeah, he does have a pit count of 2, so he's been in and out a couple of times already.
Elvis Bennett. Oh, that's for snap oversteer coming into turn 1. But he was trying to correct his angle, and in doing so, the car just snaps right. He's lost the position to Heiko Kruger as a result. Oh dear.
Do I say it? Do I say that Elvis was all shook up?
Don't curse the man after he span.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Ella right here, all around the track right now. I can't really say much as family members will probably bust into my room saying, "Why are you doing a mockery of Elvis Presley?" But Elvis not having the best of times out there at the moment. But he has got that top 5 still, which is, of course, especially for point standings, will be crucial just in the long run. But you know, you'd like more. You'd like more. Anyone would like more, and it does mean that we've only got one real battle at the front of the LMP2 field, which is Eric Feck versus Mikhail Etienne. And look at the slipstream there that Mikhail gets. Going to be coming side by side there, and is he going to try and make a move around the outside? Cannot make it, and he's gone very wide. And turn 1, one of my favorite corners when it comes to sim racing, because you can take so many different lines. And come on, what's your favorite line? Is it the close to the wall, or is it the wide and in? Come on, what is your favorite one, guys?
Hug the wall.
I take it tight on 1. I'm going to be driving the Corvette this weekend, later on tonight, and it does not like that off-camber corner on the outside of turn 1, so keep it tight, defend, get through it, make the other guy work for it.
Mark Day, and by the way, Mark Day and Michael Thompson up ahead of the 2 battling for 2nd place in LMP2. They've just changed positions. That is Mark Day taking back 4th position, I think. But he's taking it back in a very wrong place. Well, he's taking it back, but I mean, Michael Thompson's going to have slipstream all the way around from 1-2 towards the... Oh, stop! Oh, dear. He's gone on the inside.
What a cluster.
Ooh, it is.
Keep it on the track, boys. Keep it on the track. There we go. Wow. Well done.
That was a bit of a heart in
mouth,
the chest.
exactly.
Yeah, heart in the mouth moment. You got the three GTEs there, Day, Thompson, and Zimmerman battling, and there goes the leaders of the LMP2s battling themselves. It looks like those two are getting ready for another battle. So we got those two. Ettinen, in fact, once again crossing the line. Ettinen probably gets that P2. He does not, in fact, takes it back. Meanwhile, the GTEs, it looks like Michael Thompson's going to try and go around the outside of turn 1. He does take the position. So one guy goes around the outside, can't make it work, and the other guy does.
And there's the P2 that's going to make this very interesting. The 90 of Heiko Kruger. He's going to... Maybe he will split these guys up a little bit. I think he's going to pick them off one corner at a time here. But this is definitely the... Whoa! Kruger!
No, he isn't.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I was about to get ready. There's a thing running on TV called the bookmarking. And usually it's where you put a slower car in between you and the guy you're facing. But it can also work when it comes to situations like that with Heiko, the faster car. And we thought, yeah, he'll get past Day. He'll put himself in the middle in the kink and it will affect Day as he tries to catch on to Thompson. Didn't work, but there is that bookmarking possibility just in those places there, especially as well at the bus stop around here. So look for that to happen, especially when you've got these battles at the moment. And there you go. That is Scott Fick using Eric Fick's using Scott Kukas as a bookmark as he overtakes Ettinen again. Oh, I say overtake, he just makes sure he holds on to it. But those two just having a bit of a scary time. And actually, was that Eric just coming together with the GT? Oh, no, it wasn't. But it almost did. So just got to be careful.
Is back now, 1.2 seconds off of Eric.
The bookmarking. That is the bookmarkers we talk about. You put that slow card there. And that, especially with the GT3s, they have to take such a, I wouldn't say complex line, but you're riding the brakes so much to keep that car steady in a GT3 to try and get down all that speed that it does take the bus stop slightly slower than what these guys are used to. And in the LMP2, speed is key. You want to make sure you maintain as much of the speed as you can. And if you get held up there, especially if you're in LMP2, that is what you're going to see as an issue, is you will probably have to hold on to the brakes a little bit longer than you would want to when it comes to moving it around. And the question is, are these guys brave enough to try and send it too wide in the middle of the bus stop just to make an overtake? Personally, I'd play it safe and just wait.
Now,
so it looks like there's a battle for the lead right now in the GT3 class with Ryan Oliver and Theodore coming into turn 1. Theodore goes a little wide. Ryan's going to... I don't know if he was leading or if he was in
Ryan was
there.
the lead car, and Theodore is the chaser at the moment.
These BMWs are just beating on each other right now.
And it's interesting because the fastest BMWs, the rest of the guys are apart from the back of the field, the rest of the GTEs are all Lamborghinis, and these two have pulled out a 4-second lead, especially over Jeff Embry, who was pole for the GT3s.
I think the humidity is definitely playing into the race here. The more humidity you have less power, but you have less grip. They might be wearing through these tires a little bit more in the Lamborghinis than they are in the BMWs, but the BMW is also a twitchier car to drive. The BMW, or the Lamborghini's twitchier. The BMW is definitely the more stable of the two, but who knows where this is going to shake out at the end of the race. These are both new cars to the service, but the fact that Ryan and Theodore are right on each other, with how many laps in are we? 16. They're halfway through a stint, looking at roughly 31 laps. So these guys are going to have to make a decision when they come in. Are they going to take tires on their first stop? Because they are only going to have another stop after that. It's going to be a short fill, likely. So, it might be that one of these guys takes tires, the other one doesn't. That's going to split them up.
I think the safe call would be to take tires. I mean, the track temperature's gone down to 24 Celsius. It is 5:48 p.m. The sun is starting to set. We are using a sim time of the 17th of January. We're using today's as the sim time. So these are kind of what the temperatures you expect. But these GT3s with the ABS, you've got to remember that they will hit that brake hard to go in. And it looks like that Oliver's made a mistake into the second horseshoe.
Thomas
He has.
makes a move. And he gets him in turn 6. They're dragging off 6 onto the oval. Great pass. That was as clean as you can have it, but looks like Ryan is going to draft him.
Just as a replay, we missed it just about, or, well, we didn't miss it. I'd missed it. And back again, Ryan comes to, swipes across, make sure that that door is firmly shut, and says, nope, I'm having...
Oh, no, Ryan,
please! No, I don't want to curse another person, please! Please! I will
just
give...
needed to for,
I will give an entire supply of chocolate for a year. Just to not curse the man. I don't know who to give it to, but I'll give it.
I'll take chocolate. I'll take chocolate.
I can't give it to you. We're part of the same broadcasting team. It has to be outside. You can't just cheat.
All right. Never mind. It is interesting. I was saying that I do feel that a tire stop here, while it would sound a bit weird taking it now, with the temperature dropping, you would think to yourself maybe the track gets colder later in the race. We're still 2 hours in. We're less than 2 hours left. And personally, I would feel that the colder temperatures would probably allow those tires to just last a little bit longer. If you didn't take a tire stop now, you could go for that last stint sprint. But are you going to run out of time? Because especially these guys are looking at only 80 to 82 laps overall for the GT3s. And then, they're doing 30. You do the math. That means your final stint's going to be less than your first 2 stints, unless you decide to do an undercut here, which will be very interesting to see. They might try it, but we'll wait and see. And in fact, Brad Walsh is the first one in the pits, and that does look like that is a pit stop for Brad Walsh.
Oh, it hasn't been named in the best way, and he's taking tires. Already? But it's only 24.
This would be the time to do it, because remember, their next stop is going to be a short fill. Or actually, he's doing his short fill now. If he's in now, he is doing his short fill now. He doesn't want to take tires. Why is he taking tires?
I think.
Why is he taking tires?
I think the.
He's back again.
Oh my crikey! No, that's an engine blown. That's an engine blown. That's a GT3 with engine blown. Oh no, Scott Cookas. That front end does not look good. Oh dear.
Oh yeah, and then I was saying earlier, the BMW is a front engine car. If you take a full hit to the front, like the BMW M8, you are looking at engine damage. It is that risk reward that when you pick the car, you select the car you want, and it looks like that's what's happened.
And it was all on his own. He just caught the curb wrong coming out of the bus stop.
I would hate to do that.
It buffed out very quickly. It was a spare car. That's the political answer rather than buffer.
But unfortunately, using your fast repair this early in the race is going to, I wouldn't say affect you, but it's going to hamper how you drive the track now. You've got to be a little bit more cautious. Imagine that you're driving Spa on 16 out of 17 incident points. That's the best way I could describe it right now.
No.
You want to be fast, but you want to just make sure you don't go for that extra bit and, clipping the bus stop, the curves on the bus stop. Like
go wide at Blanchimont.
I will go down just below Scott Kukas to Sam Watley. He did come into the pits for a pit stop. he did do his short fill without tires. He's trying to make his way back up to the field. He's currently in last in GT3. So hopefully he's trying to make up some time. He's currently, let's see, like 2 laps down, but he could still pick up some positions.
By the way, new leader in GTE, that is Mike Gaunt overtaking Flavio Vigiucchio, and he was the race leader. Ooh, something terrible has oh my goodness gracious, I've just seen what's happened. Oh, crikey. Second horseshoe. It's claimed another person. This is the car of Flavio Vigiucchio. I'm sorry to every single Italian that I've just butchered the name off of. Oh!
It was a big hit there with the Lambo.
What? I didn't even... What on earth just happened? I didn't even see what happened. All I saw was the car. And then it had damage on the wrong side.
Definitely, he was definitely in a collision with the Chrome Lambo.
Oh, no. He locked his tires. He locked his tires. That's why. He locked the tires. He couldn't go anywhere. He couldn't turn left, right, or do anything. And that is one very damaged Porsche with damage on the right-hand side.
Brad Walsh, who just did that big pit stop earlier.
And
he's having to come in again.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
It's falling apart for Brad Walsh.
Scott Kukas has also retired the car. Mark Day is in the pits as well. I think he's taken a fast repair as well there for the no emissions team. So a lot of the cars now are taking their one and only fast repair. They're getting in that spare car right away. They're like Michael Schumacher and everybody at Spa 98 running back to the pit box to pick up that spare car for the restart. But still, what we're talking about that, we still got that battle between the GT3s, which is going brilliant at the moment. And again, also just seen an overtake in the GTEs. That's Scalina getting a position back over Zimmerman. Scalina went down 3 positions after that start and is now slowly working their way up. They've now lost only 2 positions, and they've got Michael Thompson coming in front in that very... Is that going to be a neon green for Michael Thompson? I like it. It's Rob knows why I like it.
Because it's not red. It's not red.
Yeah! Yeah.
If somebody were to run a budget version of the AF Corsa livery, except everything is red and just like the color difference is just like white outline, I will give you chocolate. I think that's my bargaining chip. I'll give you chocolate. How about that?
Do you have a van that says free candy on it?
No comment.
Donations to Raidillon TV for our candy bus can be made via Super Chat.
There we go.
Dude, because this is the BBC. This is how we do things. Now, wait.
Flavio is way back. That hit really hurt him. He had to come in for that pit stop. He is like 3rd last right now in GTE. Ahead of Mark Day and Simon Thorns. Hopefully we can get that Porsche move back up through the field. Not a lot of close battles right this second. They're all kind of seconds apart. Everybody's finding their gaps. Michael Thompson is like 2-3 seconds behind David Wilson, who is 15 seconds behind Mike Gaunt in GTE right now. Sean Brown, 7 seconds in front of his teammate Eric Fick. Michael Etienne, he's another 3.7 seconds back. There's a lot. I think we've seen all this action of people getting into each other, and it's kind of fanned everybody out because of the pit stops. The closest battle we have right now is that top of the GT3. We have Ryan and Theodore. They're really the only cars on track right now that are within a second of each other.
going to be interesting to see how this shapes up, though, because they've been on each other's heels since, I don't know, the start, really. I mean, they've just been itching to sort of get little battles between each other. As Theodore closes in, he's actually just closed 3 tenths, and he's actually closing 4 tenths now. He's only half a second behind Ryan. As the Esports Broadcasting Network is still waiting for their chocolate. If you have an Irish representative, I can send him stuff.
Hey, what about social distancing? Did it have to be delivered at the door? Did you just leave it on the door?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. We'll go with that.
Theodore.
Will you deliver it to Canada, though?
I can try.
Yeah, last time I went to...
I don't know.
Last time I went to America with Candy, I kind of got stopped in immigration.
Guys, Flavio's making it, or trying to make it past these two guys in GT3. There's an LMP2 in the mix here as well. We might see something happen here. The 26th of... who's the 26th?
Weddle. That's Jack Weddle.
That's Weddle. Oh, wow. So we've got a couple of quick drivers that are held up behind 2 quick drivers in GT3. Let's see how this ends up. Okay, they're on to the oval now. Everything is safe.
I think that's what both of those cars are doing. Like, if that's me, Weddle, I know that I'm, damaging my race, but I don't want to put it in the middle of these two because they're battling, and who knows what lines they're going to be taking.
Flavio is going for it. Flavio is going for the double pass. There we go. He picked it up, going into the bus stop. But that probably, that definitely brought together Ryan and Theodore a little bit more. They're 2 tenths of a second between each other now.
There's not much they can be able to do here, because if Theodore wants to go to make a move, here comes Wolf Dietrich right behind them, and he's just going to be coming right by. And
he's going into the bits. Perfect.
That was a late move.
Oh, is there going to be... No. Theodore is going to hold off. He's going to bide his time. Number 3 of Andy Banfield behind them right now in that space shuttle theme machine. Which space shuttle is he? He is Atlantis. That is the space shuttle Atlantis.
How do you know? Did it say it?
It's right above the door.
Oh, wow. Man, Atlantis.
Oh! Ryan just got a little bit loose coming out of the kink.
Still sticks it, though. I think this is the point where not only the tires are now starting to wear down a little bit. I'd imagine the humidity is still pretty bad, as
humidity is still at 75.
So it's still stuck at.
Everything is still the same.
So the only thing that's changed right now is that the tires have gotten a little bit worse for wear, which is probably going to spell yikes territory for everyone, because I think the worst I've ever raced is like 50, maybe. Except the track temperature was like 50 degrees because it was Le Mans, but we won't talk about that.
I'm trying to think if I've done anything like that before, and I don't think I have. I've seen the clips of the heavy humidity causing fog effect, the mist effect. I've seen that before, but I've never experienced it personally. But it is, you got to be careful. You've got to be careful around here, and especially like I was saying, the braking, because you're going at such high speed. Braking for something like the bus stop, braking for something for like turn 1, and it is just hard. And is that Theodore? Theodore's now in that stage where he wants to ask the questions, and he's pushed Ryan wide, and he won't be able to take it too wide in the kink. But yeah, you can see Theodore is now saying to him, "Look, we're coming up to pit stop shortly. Do you want this lead? Because I think I want to start going for it, and I think it may have paid off."
Ooh, this is when
Thomas could really undercut Ryan if he wanted to. Go in for a short fill He's battling him so hard right now. He could, if he wanted to, get on a different pit schedule and just bring it in. It looks like all the LMP2s have come in for their stops, but there hasn't been a wave of stops for GTE yet, aside from Flavio, Mark Day, and Simon, who have all kind of been in accidents. But in GT3, nobody has come in for a stop yet except for Sam Watley. So that might be a strategy for him, or maybe he's just going to bide his time behind Ryan.
Remember when you were talking about Brian Boomsa and his unluck? And knocking on wood, he's actually overtaking the missed apex of Brian Boomsa.
Overtaking, is that
Heiko Kruger? Oh, Kruger! He had to pull back. He didn't want to risk a biscuit.
So
coming
Brian's
into turn 1.
the missed apex car, Kruger's the red one. So it was Boomsma that had to
Lift
exit
off,
that
yeah.
strategy, yeah.
Because he didn't want to, because he saw the GT3s ahead of him. He didn't want to risk a biscuit. Either that or he's doing mad fuel saving. But that kind of flies in the face of how fast he was driving. He's actually, on their last lap, he was actually 2 seconds faster than Heiko Kruger was. And Heiko Kruger is having issues. Oh, crikey. Having issues with the car and its stability. I think he's having my steering wheel is pointed left, but I can't go right. Or I can't go left.
And I'll tell you what's causing all the issues right now. Thank God they've come to the bank, because you got those two, Cougar and Boomsma, fighting it out. Oliver and Capitonis are also fighting. And these two just keep fighting. Not only are they going to hold up the traffic like they've just seen. Oh, is that going to be a side-by-side exit? That's Kruger with a slowdown, is it?
It most definitely is. Let's have a look at the chopper view. Where'd that blimp at? Oh, yes, the blimp view. Yes, coming into view. That is Heiko Kruger on the number 90 car. The one with the whitish and red color tones. Getting passed by Brian Boomsma. I think I've said his name wrong at least 9 times. I'm
Friday on TV. Just go with it.
Yeah,
I do have a clicker here every time you do it.
Oh,
we're
wow.
at 5, so don't
Oh,
worry.
have you done it for yourself as well? when you were doing the results for qualifying earlier and saying, I think I got the name right, I was just there like, he'll fit in fine. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, perfect.
Hey, we're not all people of the world, are we?
No.
Just looking
Right,
at
the dome's in the pit, by the way. I don't know if that's a pit stop or I've got some damage. It looks like he's just come in, so I think he's the first GTE. Yeah, that's 122 in the pit, so that's the first GTE to make a scheduled pit stop there for the dome. Lalone, sorry. I see La.
It's a little early. A little early for Lalone. Maybe he was just
spent a minute in the pits.
Car.
So he took tires.
Like he definitely took tires.
Yeah. So, are they thinking to themselves, hey, maybe if I take tires, will my situation improve? Will I be able to push now that it's coming to night? And then because it's going to night, you'll have a lesser track temperature, and with the track now having some tarmac on it, will I be able to say, hey, let's give it a crack, see if what I can do.
And he spins it.
And I've cursed enough.
Cold tires. That is cold tires
for sure for Drew. Oh, too bad.
I have literally cursed another man.
Yep. It's what we do. It's what we do here. I don't know how we got this curse. Is it just the fact that we commentate? I don't know.
I think it's just us. I think it's just, it sometimes is that, all right? It I hate to say it, it do be like that sometimes. As
I will say that Brian Boomsma, now that he's passed Heiko Kruger, He is coming up on Elvis Bonello. There's no cars between them right now. They're both on the banking. He's about a second and a half back. He is trying his hardest to get into that top 3 again. I don't know if he'll get into the top 2 just looking at the times, but it looks like he could get Elvis at least. Actually, he's running 34.8 right now. He and the other folks on the track are doing 35s, 36s, 37s. So maybe Brian Boomsma can make it up to the top again. He's got a big gap to make up. He's 27 seconds back from the leader. But there's a lot of race left. Brian may make it all the way back, and he's a little sketchy going into 1. But he's one to watch for sure now that he's back up into 5th.
Ooh, just a little bit of miscommunication by the multi-class racing as Marzov almost comes in contact with Boomsma. Marzov was thinking, I've got to get over to the left as soon as I can, and Brian was already there, and that's no fault of anybody. That is pure multi-class racing. Just one of those mistakes that both of them do. Only cost, let's see, it cost Brian, it cost him, well, it was about 3/4 of a second, and he's made that time back up there. He's got a really, he's really solid right now in that missed apex car. Just doing really, is that meant to be like hearts on the back of that car, by the way, with the blue and the red? Yeah, that's our hearts on those flags on the back pods. Is it blue, white, and then red hearts?
I think so. I mean,
yeah.
it's hard to get a look because there's a shark fin in the way.
It looks like a underwear print.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
He fits right in. He fits right in. He fits right in. He fits right in.
But Boomsma, he has lost a little bit of time here, but he's not losing time on Kruger. He is just losing time on Elvis. Elvis is pulling away and saying basically, that fool, you shouldn't have let me hurt you, as he just continues to put more pressure on. Boomsma is thinking, I've got to
He said
get back.
boomers.
Boomsma is thinking, why does this Englishman say my name so wrong?
Well,
That's
here's
what he's
another, guys. Here's another name for you, Sklenka. Like Boomsma, he's hard to pronounce, and he's also making his way back up the field. He's currently in 3rd in GDE. He is 3.2 seconds behind David Wilson Jr. right now. Remember, he got into that little accident at the bus stop when there was a cluster of 4Gs. Was 7 seconds back of that group, made his way all the way through, and now he's nipping at David Wilson's run here as well. So David is, like I said, 3.2 seconds ahead of Donald, but then Mike Gaunt, he's got a 15-second lead ahead of David. So there's still lots of race left. Maybe Donald can get it in front of David, but maybe he can go after Mike. We'll see. They're running similar lap times right now.
Just to
Mike
say,
Gaunt that on.
just to say that David Wilson having to navigate around. There's a LMP2. I was going to say LMP1 again. LMP2 trying to navigate around him, and he had a lockup going into the first horseshoe, so he's actually lost 9/10 to Donald Sklenka. And if Sklenka puts in another good lap, and if Wilson continues to have issues, we could be seeing some movement here. But he needs to tread carefully as he does. As I say that, I almost cursed another man. Sklenka actually wiggled coming into the bus stop. His car just did a little dance as he was trying to come into the corner under braking. So I was hoping and praying. I didn't want to curse him. I didn't do it.
But you almost did.
I almost did, yes.
I tell you what, I've been looking at in front of the relative, though, is David Wilson. He is trying to make sure he pulls this gap away from Sklenka. He has a little bit of a wobble going into turn 1. he's got Embry right in front of him in the P3 and the GTEs. Then 2 seconds up the road, he's got the lead battle for the GT3s. Now he does not want to be held up by either of the the 1-car group or the 2-car group. But he's going to be. He cannot get past Embry before King. He's gonna have to wait. And in front of them, there's more chaos because there's an LMP2 trying to get past the lead GT3s.
And Ryan got sideways out of the kink again. The LMP2 went down the inside of him. They're going through turn 6 now. And yeah, this is action-packed, boys.
Top 3, let's just put it like this, Embry is practically almost there. When it comes to the gaps, he's almost there. And I was saying about that issue with Wilson having to get stuck. He could not get past Embry into the second horseshoe. Slenka is now in the slipstream of Wilson Jr. So all of a sudden, just in that half a lap, we've seen 3 cars grouped together for the GT3s almost. And we're going to see 2 cars for the GTEs grouped together. As a little bit of a slide there from Wilson as Slenka. He does have to slow down a little bit because he has got Embry there, but Slenka is now seeing that car. He's now seeing that BMW. He does want a go at it. You can see that he's now thinking, yeah, okay, I can do this. Unfortunately, that Embry gap's now gone down to 1.7 between Embry and Theodore, which is P2 for the GT3s.
And Embry is taking a draft off Sklenka right now, coming into turn 1. So it seems they're got this mutually beneficial arrangement going on. They're both catching people they need to catch and using each other to do it. Oh, and here we are into the first horseshoe. It's gonna be, well, no drama yet. What about the kink? Anything in the kink?
I'm just looking at
Nothing in the
not
kink?
much drama, no. Ooh, that's a dive on the
Sklenka?
inside. Yeah, Sklenka, Sklenka's making it very
Is
obvious.
Thomas gonna follow? Is Thomas gonna follow? Or Theodore, sorry.
Yeah, you've been saying, I didn't want, oh, Theodore!
Theodore!
He's launched it, but he launched it way too much.
Oh, it's a drag race.
Touch!
Almost to the wall.
And Embry says hello!
Why?
Jeff's literally there at the back thinking, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. I'm just going to wait it out. Oh, hello. I'll take that P2. And if he's got a chance to go around the outside at the bus stop to take the lead back, he's not. He isn't. Into the bus stop. Around the outside, he takes it.
Lead. Wow. Unreal. 3rd to 1st in 1 lap.
This is incredible.
Hold on though. Oliver's got the response, but here's what I was saying earlier. You don't want to go up the banking, and Oliver's lost all the speed by going up the banking. He's not catching up. He's slowly catching up, and has to go 3 wide. The GTE comes right by them of Thompson. But yeah, this is what I was saying earlier in the race. If you've got to follow a car around here, you do not want to follow the car and go high on the bank if you've got the speed.
Poor Oliver. Poor Oliver. He's lost. He's gone from 1st all the way to... Oh, crikey. He's going to get pinched. Oh, crikey. Pinched. Oh
my God. They're going free?
Oh, please don't. Oh, no. I'll give my life savings as they come around. We'll have a replay, by the way, of just how Jeff Embry... Because, oh my God, that was a great move by him. He took the risk. He sent it, and he sent it again. And look where he is.
I don't know what.
No, that was some great racing. Now, just to replay how this happened. This is a lap ago. That is Jeff Embry coming up, and he saw the car of Theodore going wide, and he just said, oh, I'll have that. And then he saw ahead of him Ryan I.A. Oliver, car in position 1, and he went side by side with him coming into the bus stop. You could just see around the outside side. It's very difficult to do this in a bus stop, and unfortunately Ryan had to yield because, well, A, he's around the outside, and B, Where can he go?
Speaking of that, just as you were watching that replay, Oliver retook P2, and the send from Theodore in the pit. They're all in the pits. 1, 2, 3. Mother quarter flee, and they're in the pits. And look at them; they're right by everybody. They all fucked up.
And Ryan missed his pit box. He had to roll it back. Are they going to take tires? Who's taking tires, if anybody?
Oh yeah, who is taking tires? Because they would do fuel first, and then they'll go up on the jacks. Oh, it's all eyes.
Well, I literally have the perfect camera for who takes tires. Come on, who takes tires? Does any of them take tires?
I would be surprised if they didn't, because the track temperature is starting to cool again. Still 24 Celsius. No one's taking tires.
Takes tires? Does any of them? Oh, that's a Lamborghini going up on its jacks. Jeff Embry takes tires.
Ryan and Theodore both out of the pits. Jeff Embry taking tires. Relinquishes his lead to the 2 BMWs after just getting
Ryan Oliver takes the lead.
Ryan Oliver retakes the lead. Now that is something we have to keep an eye out for right now. Embry is going to be quicker this stint. The question is that going to pay off for him? Did Oliver just get an... Wow.
We have a car splitting Theodore and Ryan. JD Crow, who has not pitted yet, but could become a pawn in this game of chess that they've been playing all night in the 46 BMW. He's not as quick, so Theodore needs to dispose of JD quickly, and he's getting held up big time right now.
You can just see the gap is actually increasing. 0.7 of a second between JD Crow and Ryan ahead of him, but behind, Theodore is looking to see if he can get past, but he'll be absolutely hampered, I think, going into the bus stop. He's actually falling back a little bit. He didn't have a great exit coming onto the NASCAR 1-2. Oh, crikey, this is not what Theodore wanted. Theodore wanted P1, not P3, so it was Ryan's turn to take the lane of sadness to go back to P3 when Jeff Embry made that absolutely sensational move on the two of them.
Just to interrupt, we've had this same situation in the GTEs. Gaunt, Wilson, and Salenka all came in. Okay, Gaunt was 14 seconds ahead. Wilson and Salenka going together. Wilson's on the jacks. He's taken tires, and Salenka's not taken tires. So we realize we look at the tires before. You're looking at a 30-second difference between taking tires and not taking tires. And I think for the GTE, this might not be the right decision for Wilson. I think with
sorry to interrupt, guys, but one person has made his way through most of the GTE field, and that is the former leader of this field, Flavio. And he did take tires during that last pit stop. He's currently in 4th. He's not out of this yet. He's definitely not out of this yet. He's currently looks to be... Oh, sorry, I can't even find my intervals right now. He's 5.8 seconds behind Michael Thompson. He's a good bit back from Mike Gaunt, but still, my God, what a freaking drive.
Theodore, by the way, finally gets past JD Crow, and JD has not pitted. We're on lap 33 for these GTEs. GT3, sorry. Of course, the main leaders in the LMP2s are on lap 37. Gives you just the idea of their speed differences. So we're thinking maybe JD might come in this lap.
He'll
not sure
to.
though.
He'll have to.
He'll have to because
he's
not
running on fumes.
How is he running this right now though? Because 33 is the absolute limit. So he should need to pit right now. But look at that gap now between Oliver and Caponesis. Look at that gap. It's now what, over a second and a half, just because of that issue that Theodore had to get past JD. And now JD finally does come into the pits.
Well, his stint was 33 laps, according to my top stopwatch. But
wow,
I'm wondering how on earth he managed to stay out there.
Fuel saving. Maybe he's playing a longer game.
Let's look at this for a second. Oliver 146.236. Embry is about to cross the line for his first lap. 145.826. It's only 4/10. So maybe the tyres are still heating up, but taking the tyres on the first pit stop may not be paying off here for Embry. And furthermore, does this mean he might take another set of tyres? That could affect him.
Oh, he's gone wide to let a. I think. Oh, he's letting a P2 by. Bit difficult to judge where you can really let people go. Did his best. Now, if he were to continue at this pace with an estimated 50 laps to go, 50 times, he would not make it up just on 4/10. He needs to be 5/10 a second a lap or better to come back towards Theodore and Ryan. So he needs to make sure that he is absolutely putting pedal to the metal and just absolutely gunning it every lap. I know he was faster by about 7/10 on Theodore himself, but on Ryan he's not that much faster, so he needs to absolutely push it.
So we've had a little bit of a... Let's just calm down a little bit. Raidillon is apparently in the pits again. It might
He is indeed. Yeah, he's got damage.
And he's off the jacks. He's going without the damage. He's just going with it. I think that's it. I think he's realised he's got to. So
he was in the pits for 2 minutes and 44 seconds. So he's had required repairs to make up.
Still got a lot of damage. But by the way, Brian Boom, the Boomsma, I've been told what exactly that is on the back of his car. It's not underwear. It's it is the Frisian flag. Frisian is a language in West Germany, from what I've understood. It's a West German ethnic group. So the coastal parts of Germany. So that is their, from what I understand, that is their flag. And
so, do they make underwear there? Or?
So what you're saying is we've insulted a province now.
Unless they make the world's best underwear, and then we've given them a very good compliment.
So we would have to cross our fingers very tightly and say, please, in that place, make very good underwear. Otherwise, we would have insulted you.
I will get serious here for a second. He is falling back now from Elvis. He was up as close as, I think, a second and a half to Elvis. He's now 3.2 back. So maybe he's just fighting traffic. Maybe he's just kind of dialing it back. Who knows? But he is coming up on the 3 of Andy Banfield, who's currently a lap down. Maybe you can get a draft off him. Try to pick it up. They're right behind Theodore, I think.
They are indeed.
They're mixing it up with the GT3s right now. There's not a lot of battles going on the track right now after that GT3 drama that we saw on the bus stop with Jack. But Jack is in third again now that JD Crow has gone in and a couple of others. So we will see if that pays off. Currently, Jeff, sorry, I was calling him Jack. Jeff Embry is just under 20 seconds behind. We were talking about lap times before. 3/10 quicker than Ryan. Half a second quicker than Theodore. It looks like Theodore is dropping back a little bit now as well because he's not in Ryan's draft anymore. Maybe that battle is over. Maybe it'll heat up again once Jeff gets back up there. But looks to be that's kind of the closest battle on track right now.
I think one of the things as well, I've looked at it because we were saying that I think Jeff spent an extra 30 seconds in the pits because of the tires. The gap now between Jeff and Ryan, so between first and third, is only 23 seconds. And at the start of the lap, Jeff was 20.6 seconds behind Theodore. He's now 19.8. So he's made up a whole second on Theodore this lap. So it may just be that these tires on this BMW are just starting to cry a little bit. The temperature not dropped as much as I thought it would. Now we're into, I think, the nocturnal sunset. What's that terminology they call it for? Nautical twilight. Sorry, and then astronomical twilight. So we're around the nautical twilight, heading into the dusk. We've done civil twilight. We're in nautical coming up now.
That is an LMP2. Sorry, locking its brakes. That is the car number 904. I might have gotten it wrong. Actually, it's the 084. Kenneth Tier locking his brakes around that Lamborghini of Jeff Embry, who retakes third, by the way, after being in fourth due to JD Crow coming out of nowhere and upsetting the apple cart just a little bit. And he's upset enough, actually, to the point where Theodore is falling back.
It looks like Kenneth Tier keeps kind of crawling his way back to Mikael Hagström. And once he gets kind of within striking distance, he makes a mistake and falls back. At the other end of that field, Sean Brown, who was fighting with his teammate Eric Feek at the beginning of this race, is now almost 15 seconds ahead of his teammate. We haven't been showing him much tonight, but he's just dominating. We could just watch his car all night and just watch him pass people all night. And and he almost got a little monster's curse coming out of 6. But he's just completely owning the LMP2 category and the race overall.
I'll touch the wood for you. Don't worry, I'll touch it for you.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I can hear you. I can hear you smacking your desks as well. That's a funny.
I was only tapping it, but yeah, no, he's been doing high, mid to high 34s and low 35s. His slowest lap, not including an out lap, is a 37. And then he's got there's only one time in the 37s. He's done one time in the 36s. Brown's been keeping it really consistent compared to his teammate. I think just having a little bit of bad time there. Mostly times in the 35s. Now the tires have started to wear off. A couple 36s and a 37. So you can see that Sean, you could argue he's had the better of the traffic, but at the same time, look, he's now right behind the lead GT of Mike Gaunt. It's not all traffic. It's just basically just been able to keep a smooth drive, and that's the key with these LMP2s as well, especially when you get to the bus stop. You just want to keep it smooth, keep as much speed as you can without upsetting the back of that car. So Brown's doing a really good job here, I've got to be honest, and I'm just trying to keep an eye on... What was it? Who was Solenka battling with? It was Thompson, was it? No.
No, it was Wilson, but Wilson took tires earlier.
Yes, that's it. Yes, it's just keeping the eye on these two cars, because it does look like Wilson. It has paid off for him, because he is, well, apart from that spin, he is a second faster than Solenka at the moment. So I think these guys that took tires, and there's only a handful of them, it's starting to pay off for them. But are they going to hit that sweet spot too early in the race?
I honestly think that the play here is just to keep the tires on the car, try to keep it steady. With those 30-second additions, I think it's like 27 seconds you're adding to your pit stop. You're having to push yourself to get that time back. And if you can just nurse the tires that you have on the car, sure, turn 2-3 tenths a lap slower, you're going to be fine. I think Mike Gaunt's strategy, as well as Donald's, they're cruising up at the front. They don't have to worry about passing the field again, the guys that didn't take tires. I think that keeping those tires is probably the most risk-averse move, even though you may want a little bit more grip.
Right, at the moment, there is no close battles out there. Well, apart from Michael Thompson and Figurico going side by side for P3 and P4 into turn 1. just the catch to that, it looks like Thompson's made that move stick. They're going to be going side by side through the kink into the first bus stop.
Ooh, they were close.
They were very close, and I think Thompson realized that and just pulled away from him. So this is
Flavio is making new tires work. That's one guy who is making the most of that new rubber in the Porsche. Back up to third after he was second last. He is motoring in that Porsche. He is doing about 0.2 a lap quicker than Sklenka right now. Maybe 1/10 a lap quicker than Gone. But for fastest laps, I was looking at fastest laps. He's actually going a bit slower than the guys up ahead of him, like almost a full second slower, at least on the last lap. He may have run into a little bit of traffic or whatnot, but now that he has an open road ahead of him, let's see if he can get that Porsche going.
And I'm actually curious to see how that works, because the Ferrari is still the car with the top speed, and we always talk about how not many people drive the Ferrari when it comes to official racing, but the Ferrari still has a following outside of official racing, of course, and you can just see how it still has that top speed, and it is just really able to, I wouldn't say abuse it, but just able to use it to its advantage. As you can see, Federico is trying to pull away, and the gap is 1.4 seconds. A lot of that is Thomas having a 1.5 seconds slower lap, but when it comes onto the straights, in theory, that you will see that Ferrari just getting a little bit more speed, a little bit more top end speed.
We did,
but
hang on a minute.
Sure.
Go look at LMP1 or LMP2. Where in goodness gracious did Brian Boomsma come from to take 4th position? We have just missed that. Oh my god!
Looks like he took him into. Is it back?
No, it looks like a slow. It looks like a slow. It is. It looks like Elvis went high to either overtake a GTE or have to serve a slowdown, and just completely loses all that position. And Boomsma has taken back P4. So the overall leader at the start of the race is finally in P4. And granted, he's got... Actually, well, let's be brutally honest. He's 5 seconds behind the next car. He's only 30 seconds behind Sean. I mean, Sean's in a world of his own, but Brian could get this podium back after losing it at the start of the race.
And it looks like Elvis is coming into the pits.
Yeah, the LMP2 is starting their pit stop run now.
They
will
are
it be
at 22 laps right now, so that's making sense.
They will have to stop again.
But they'll take tires this time, I think.
Well, the
Because
pipettes.
they'll have to.
I hate the way that I had that idea and now it's stuck, and I'm just like, hey, the pipettes. That's all they're known for now.
Pipette fuel tank. Yeah,
The
pipette fuel tank. Even though they made the changes, Rob, it's still a pipette to us. It's probably. I think the joke I made, but it turned into a turkey baser, but you had no idea what a turkey baser was, so I just gave up with that. But they have to do roughly 4 stops, I think, in the LMP2. So this their second stop, the second pit window is open. So expect to see tires, and Elvis has just decided, nah, I'm all right. I'm not going to bother with tires. Fair enough. I probably would have taken them.
I think
stop.
double stinting is pushing it in the LMP2s. I think Elvis is going to be in for unless he was really taking care of his tires, Elvis is going to be in for a hard time for the next stint. Brian is 5.1 behind Etienne right now. Vic is now 17.5. Oh, Sean's in the pits. Sean is in the pits. Eric has inherited the lead in LMP2. Who else is coming to the pits? Brian Boomsma has entered the pits.
It'd be key to see if they take tires now or at the splash and dash, because
So Eric, it looks like Eric and Mikael are squeezing another lap out of that car.
Oh, Sean's up. Sean's up on the jacks. That is a tire change for Sean. So he's done all the fuel there. Remember, fuel goes in first, then it's tires. So what we see from Brian, will Brian go up? That's the next question. Hiko Kruger is in the pits as well. Do either of these two decide, let's get up and let's get some get on the jacks? Especially with the new changes we were saying to these cars, you're not putting a lot of power and sliding a lot through the slower corners. And yeah,
Brian is up on the jacks. There we go.
Yeah, you don't. Even though you don't get a lot of wheel spin on the back of the tires now, on the back of the but you still have that effect of so many slow corners and putting the throttle down that the back tires do take a beating. And it's interesting to see those that haven't taken tires, what's going to happen to them. But Brian is out with tires. Sean is already out on the track through the second horseshoe, with tires. So that'll be one to keep an eye out on. What will Sean be able to do? He had, a 16-second lead? So 11-second lead, sorry. It'll be interesting to see, because Eric and Mikhail are in the pits now. Do they take tires is the question.
Jack Weddle also in the pits. We're going to see if he's taking tires here in a moment. He is. Jan Brony did not. Jan is one of 2 drivers so far who have not taken tires in that last stop. Wolf Dietrich Otto also in the pits. It's going to be about 20 seconds before we know if he's taking tires or not. Looks like Eric and Michael Etienne. Are they taking tires?
Nothing yet.
No.
Nothing yet. No.
Eric not taking tires. Michael not taking tires. Wow, this has just split that whole field.
It's going to be interesting, because you got to think that some of them will have to take tires next lap. There's not next lap, sorry, next pit stop. There's no way about it. They're going to have to look at it and think about the options. Speaking of tires, right? Jeff Embry is now 17 seconds behind Theodore. All right, he's matching the times with Ryan at the moment, but he's still gaining. He's gaining time, but the tires aren't working. If you wanted to go with fresher tires right now, I would have thought that they would, he'd be kicking in, and he would want to be looking at a 10-second gap right now. It's only 17, 16 seconds. Maybe
based on what we were seeing before, I don't think that this time gain that he's getting is tires. I think this is Jeff, because we saw Jeff reel these guys in when they were on the same rubber. I think Jeff made a grave error by taking tires. He's not gaining any time. He might be getting some comfortability from it, but it's not giving him the time that he needs in order to catch Theodore and Ryan.
And of course, not to mention as well that the track hasn't cooled down like we thought it would cool down, and they're still there. They're coming to the end of the astronomical twilight, which is debate. I'm saying it because it's the 3 different stages of the night time, where you still get that astronomical twilight. You still got some of that sunlight giving you light, which is also giving you a bit of heat. We're a few minutes away from that, and it's going to be complete. It's going to be technically proper night very shortly. You can see how dark the sky has gotten with the floodlights. So maybe we'll see these temperatures go down, but the track is still 77% humidity.
I was going to say, that's not good news for these drivers. The more that humidity goes up, the less power they have, the less grip they have. So even if you do take new tires, you might just not be able to maximize them.
Well, let's look at this battle at the moment. The back of the field, by the way. David Wilson against Stuart Elder. They're coming around Theodore, and Wilson's not going to be able to make a move on Elder, despite he was right up there. Ooh. In fact, Elder was on the red line of that Porsche. As Wilson is going to get held up here by Theodore, the lead. That's the Theodore, the lead. Have we missed something? What's happened to Ryan? Ryan is no longer in the lead at the GT3s. What has gone on here?
He's got a very damaged front
Oh,
end.
it's a spin. It's a spin. Is that a spin at the bus stop? It is. Loses the car at the bus stop and into the wall. Into the wall, and I'm amazed that engine has not gone kaput because he's got no hood, and he's losing time right now.
No, and oh dear. Just oh dear.
And then, wow.
Like just the sheer amount of damage. Has he got a bonnet? He's not got a bonnet.
He's not got a bonnet. The BMW grille looks absolutely mangled. He will have to take a fast repair. That is going to affect him. I mean, his only saving grace is, can he drag this out? Because he's 14 laps into a stint. Can he do his short stint now, use the fast repair, and not lose a lot of time? It's gonna be. He
hasn't done enough laps. He doesn't have enough. He's gonna have to do another pit.
But he needs. But he needs to fix that car, because look, Umbri is just catching it. It's just catching him. What's the speed right now? 260 kilometers for Oliver. I mean, Jeff's already doing 264. 270 right now for Oliver. Yes. And he's not pitting. He's losing all this time right now. A 148.196 was that last lap. And a 146.6 for Umbri. I don't know what Oliver's doing. You have to pit here.
Jeff Umbri is going to have it handed to him. Just absolutely. And by the way, Derek giving a shout out to his buddy and pal Brian Boomsma, who we've mispronounced the name many times, but we'll gloss over that. Apparently it's his first race. Well,
first majors race.
Yeah, first majors race. I was just thinking to myself, I hope he doesn't mean his first race. His first actual race.
Right, if he pits now, we're talking about Oliver, he might be able to make it.
Guys, lead of LMP2. Sean is on Eric. Remember, Eric did not take tires. Sean did. Sean has been quicker all night. Well, maybe not quicker, but more consistent. Mikel Etienne, 6 seconds behind. These guys up at the front are teammates. Are they going to battle it out, or is Eric just going to let him go? And they're just getting by Sklenka there now.
I think if he's going to let him go, he'll let him go after the bus stop. The gap is 0.4, probably going down to 0.3. Look how much confidence Brown has got with the tyres. Yeah, even in dirty air, had just much more confidence taking that bus stop with the tyres. He may make the move. He may have to wait. We've got Raidillon in front of them. They will get by him, but you don't really want to be taking it free wide right now. What will happen? He's still not close enough. What is the time difference? Is just out of curiosity. It's a 135.3 versus a 134.7. And Eric's got wide.
Off.
And that's the lead.
Sean gets by. And I think that's going to be it for that. I think Sean's just going to walk away from Eric now.
Oh, we are going. It's going to be interesting to watch how that's going to happen now, because technically with the way Brown's been going, he could probably do another pit stop for tires. And Brown's gone by the way. Let's go from one battle to another, because Umbri is right on the back of Oliver. And surely Oliver's just trying to count down the times now. Trying to count down when can he pit. If he's running caps, does it flash to me now saying the pit window's open? He's waiting for that absolute moment that he needs to repair. Because he must be seeing the times right now in that Adrenaline E Motorsports car. He must know that he has damage. And he wants to get in the pits.
He doesn't just see that. He sees those lights of the Lambo right behind him, and they are right behind him going into the bus stop. This is going to be Jeff. All Jeff through the oval here.
And I think Ryan realizes that he's flashing. Now, is that a sign that Ryan wants to pit? Because I did see some headlight flashing, but it was the front car flashing, and that would be Ryan. But Umbri, Goes by with no issue. What does Oliver do? Oliver
Stays
decides...
out.
Wow.
That
So-
might be a smart play. Like you said, he might be looking for his pit window. And if he can tuck that BMW behind the Lambo, this might not hurt him as bad, but it looks like he's falling off way too much to get that draft.
He needs 3. He needs 3 more laps, roughly. Because these cars will take 30 to 31 laps on a full tank of fuel. So he's looking at another, we're on lap 48 of possible 82, but it's 81.01, so we're going to call it 81 laps at the moment. So he needs another 3 laps. Can he hold on?
Get to lap 19.
Yeah. Can he hold it? That's the question. Can he hold... I wouldn't say can he hold that position. It's can he hold where he is and try and keep up with Embry. Use these LMP2s and GTEs to give him some extra speed with the slipstream. He's going to need it because Embry's already 2 seconds ahead of him. It's amazing how much damage just a hit on the nose is causing.
But can Embry get Theodore? Now that Ryan is in his rearview mirror, can Embry get Theodore? He's 12.7 seconds adrift of that BMW. I don't know. Like their last lap, they were 2/10 apart. He might get to his bumper, but I'm not sure if he can win this race.
Well, Embry took tyres. Theodore has not taken tyres. And the gap is 14 seconds. When they cross the line, we'll get that updated quickly. It's a 1:45.672 for Embry, and it's now 13 seconds. Oliver comes in. He finally decides now's the time. That's going to be a hard stretch. That is going to be a real hard stretch, but he's got a fresh car. There's a bumper.
He did take...
Does he take fuel? Yes. Look at it. You can see. This is his fuel stop.
Certainly taking fuel. Is he going to take tires?
Thing is, he's had that spin.
Well, does he attribute the spin to not taking tires before?
No.
He does not take tires.
Does not take tires. You're just watching this for the moment. We're keeping our eyes on Oliver going through. As you're seeing the camera just play around with some of these faster cars. Some of the LMP2s just going by around. You see the timings on the top. And like I said, there is no serious battles happening at the moment in terms of on-track battles. Just catching up to try and set up battles in the LMP2. Same really with the GTEs. Mind you, though, Wilson, Zimmerman, and Elder have been battling it out at the back there. And Wilson, he's finally making those tyres work. He's still a second faster. Yeah, he's a second faster than the guys behind him. And he's unable to catch up to Mark Day. As Day in that Ferrari is just, again, on a different level. But the key for Wilson, he's making time up. He's slowly working his way up. And remember, he was in a battle with Salenka, who did not take tyres. And we were saying earlier, by the way, how the GT3s with Embry, did he make the wrong call taking tyres? I think we may be asking the same question with Wilson, because he's not really gained on Salenka, has he? He
really hasn't. He dropped back a fair bit to take those tires, and now he's having to battle with lap traffic and this, that, and the other thing. So, honestly, the guys that are taking tires are just putting themselves at a disadvantage for track position. They have to battle their way past the guys that didn't take tires. The risk-averse part of me says don't take tires. The guys that have taken tires have fallen back way too much, and they're just making the job much harder for themselves right now.
Especially on such a track like this. I mean, to give it an idea, we only really see it a few times in the year. This is kind of like a track like Monza, where you want that slipstream. You want to be able to make sure that you stay with somebody, because that slipstream is going to give you extra time. And that could be one of the things we're seeing here is, taking it out, the undercut. Yeah, you could call it an undercut, like taking tires different times. Does it affect him? I mean, Flavio just look. Flavio's just come out of the pits with Mark Day right behind him. I don't think Flavio took tires there.
He did not. No.
But he's got Day behind him. He can use Day to help him, and they can work together to just keep the speed going. Different teams, of course, and different types of cars. You know, we got a Ferrari versus a Porsche. But if they could just stay together and use that slipstream, not hinder each other, that will help Flavio. You know, that will help Mark. So that's what you want right now. And Flavio's thinking, I'm on my own right now. But, you know, Mark Day's thinking, great, I'm not on my own anymore. That's what I need.
I think Mark Day is now too far back of Flavio. He's 1.5 seconds back. Flavio is the quicker driver in the Porsche. But just to drive home this taking tires story, Brian Boomsma, who we've been following quite a lot, and Elvis Bonello, they were battling before that round of pit stops. Brian took tires. Elvis did not. Now, this was their second stop. So Brian is a fair bit quicker right now. It looks actually like Elvis may have run into some issues on the last lap. But the P2s burn through tires a lot more than the GT cars. For whatever reason, it seems to be a double stint car. There were some guys who opted not to, but Brian is getting into Elvis, though on that last lap they were almost neck and neck for lap time there. Well, Elvis came across 35.5. Brian's going to come across with a 36.2. There's just not enough of a difference, maybe even with the LMP2s for lap time. You look down at Jeff Embry in GT3 right now. He actually just passed Mark Day on track, legitimately. Mark Day is in the pits.
Yep, he's in the pits. I don't know what he's in the pits for. He's been in for a while. Is he taking his? It looks like he's taking fuel and tires. He's doing the full service right now.
That's a huge service. He's currently at 1.5 minutes.
Something tells me
Mark Day had to tow.
He hit the wall at the bus stop.
Let's have a look.
Mark Day hit the wall big time at the bus stop. That was a good hit. Did he tow?
He did indeed.
That is. Yeah, he hit that wall side on. That has got to be suspension damage. Yeah, it looks like that steering wheel is, I wouldn't say straight. No, it's not straight. So yeah, he just decided it was easier to just tow than try and
didn't take a fast repair. Did Mark already take a fast repair earlier in the race?
He did, and I think he took it accidentally.
Because he's now been in the pits for over 2 minutes. Too bad. Mark Day really falling down through the order. He's 8th now in GTE, 25th overall. The LMP2 category, it's kind of status quo right now. Sean, Eric, Mikel Etienne, Elvis, Brian, and Heiko Kruger, your top 6. Jan and Jack, 7th and 8th. Kenneth Tier has actually made his way up a few positions due to him not taking tires in the last pit stop. So he got past Andy, Wolf Dietrich, and Miguel Hagstrom.
Mike Gaunt's had a bit of a jaunt. I can't find any more rhyming words after that, though. He had a 1:44.5 last lap. And I'm not sure what that is for.
Doesn't look like he had an off track or anything.
No, very slow lap though, and for one moment, Salenka could see on his relative a white name, and it was a white name in front of him, not a white name behind. And at that moment, he was thinking, "Oh, I'm catching," and the gap was 14.8 seconds. So he's been able to catch up a little bit. Yeah, 14.6 now is the time. Again, he didn't take tires. but I think that Ferrari is just feeling a little bit better as that Corvette. Well, I say that Corvette is struggling. People say that the Corvette is a better Ferrari. I've never enjoyed the Corvette, just mainly with the braking. But a lot of people do prefer that over the Ferrari. But maybe Salenka wants to bring that Ferrari back and go, hey, I'm still the big brother here.
Maybe Donald is on the oval right now. As you said, that he was in the 14.7 range. He's now 14.3 behind 15.3, somewhere around there. It's kind of fluctuating right now as he goes through turn 1. This field has really spread out. Mike Gaunt with that 15-second lead. Donald 24 seconds ahead of Michael Thompson. Flavio is 43 seconds adrift of Thompson. Wilson 9.5 seconds behind Flavio. That might be our next battle on track, though. I get the feeling Wilson's kind of dropping back from Flavio. We'll see. Stu Elder and Thorsten Oliver Zimmerman round out the group there to 7th. Mark Day obviously having to take his repair. Drew Lalonde has been back a lot in that Sarge's place, number 10 Ferrari. He's a couple laps down of the leaders now. And Simon Thorns and Corbin Solemson are rounding up the 10th and 11th spots in GTE.
Yeah, Zimmerman just came into the pits. Looked like he had a bit of a moment, just going off the bus stop, then missing his box when he came in. Curious to see Embry, because the gap now, oh my word, the gap is now 8.7. Theodore's had a bad start to his lap. The gap when they crossed the line was 10 seconds. And on the back straight, the gap is now 8.7. So, now hats off to Jeff. All the time he's made up. Part of it is Jeff, part of it is tyres. They're on lap 54. Pit window will be open for these GT3s, and I think the pit window's open for the GTEs as well. A lot of them are starting to look at taking tyres. I always say you can never judge the positions on a track until the final pit rotation. And we're about to get into that final pit rotation, and we still don't know. Well, I mean, the LMP2s, they may have to do a splash and dash, but for the GT3s and the GTEs, we know that they're going to have to take one last pit, and then the question runs in to tyre or not to tyre. That is the question, and that's going to be a tough one for some of these drivers to make, because the track temperature has stayed at 24 Celsius. There's no sunlight. I'm not saying global warming, but that is what the humidity is doing right now, because that humidity is still 77%.
It is insane, but it is Florida. Remember, it is Florida. You have Everglades and all this other stuff. You do have Gulf effect in Florida. You do have lots of humidity there at the best of times. I will say one thing. It's incredible that we started with 34 cars. We are now running 33 of them. There's only been one retirement in the 61 laps that we've run so far with Scott Kukas, who it seems like 17 laps ago, 44 laps ago, he abandoned his campaign. There are some fights that are going to brew before the end of this, even though everybody's kind of spread out right now. Do have Wolf Dietrich, though, that's 4 seconds off of Andy Banfield. You do have David Wilson, who's slowly digging into Flavio, 9.2 seconds apart in GTE. Jeff Embry down to 8 seconds flat off of Theodore. But those are the only single-digit battles that we have going on right now, or single-digit gaps, sorry, that we have going on right now in any of the classes. Oh, Michael Etienne is 5.5 seconds off of Eric, but if anything is, if the history is to kind of tell us what's going on ahead in this race, Michael's not going to catch Eric, but we will see. Oh, Brian Boomsma. 2.7 seconds behind Elvis.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm keeping my eye on, though. I'm keeping my eye on whatever that gap is between Ryan Oliver and the lead GT3s, because at the moment, I'm just going to see when he crosses the line now. Just curious to see the gap between first and fourth. 58.6 seconds. Oliver did not take tyres. Embry's the only one in that top 4 that took tyres. But he's already done his pit stop because he had to take that early pit stop due to fast repairs. He's also trying to make sure that he's got enough fuel to finish the race. And hopefully not take a splash and dash. He might, because of that gap, 59 seconds. You're looking at over a minute in the pit box. I mean, I'm just trying to work this out. Would he get the lead back? That can't be right. That can't be. Would he?
Can't see it. He's a bit back. I don't know. I can't see it.
We'll wait we'll wait and see. I mean, whatever happens, I think he's got a chance at a podium. He's only 12 seconds behind Stefan Rossmann. So, and Rossmann's got a pit. Remember, let's just see a quick rundown of the drivers who have pitted so far in the GT3s. It is Oliver, it is Anders, and it is JD Crow. So, yeah, everybody else has to pit. So maybe, just maybe. But again, has Oliver done it too? Has Oliver gone in too early? We'll have to wait and see, because those numbers are not playing favourable for him. And Derek Irwin wants to go on the Boomsma. I think Rob could go on the Boomsma because he's in a battle right now with Ettinen. He's actually overtaken Ettinen. And is he overtaken, or is it just in a very close battle? No, he did. He overtook him going into that lap. He's in P4 now. Boomsma retakes P4. He's 2 seconds behind Elvis Bonello. Like I said, he's got a shot to get that podium back.
So what happened to Etienne? Because Etienne was in third.
What happened?
He spun it.
Yeah, he had a 154.2 and lost it coming out of the bus stop, actually. So much speed, car goes sliding it. I'll tell you what, he's lucky he managed to save that car and managed to make it turn the other way, because that car was going to go, as you'll see on the replay, you'll probably see on the replay in a minute, he was going to go very aggressive, and that car kicked up out of the curbs, and it started sliding to the right as he came out of the bus stop. And normally, if you're sliding right, that means you're going nose into the barrier. And somehow he was able to just correct that car to make it do a complete 180 and just avoid the wall. Good save there from Mikkel. But unfortunately, he has lost P4, and Boomsma is
P3. So he was ahead of Elvis when that happened. He's lost 2 positions, down now back to 5th. Brian is now 1.5 seconds off of Elvis. But he's got a couple of cars between him and Elvis that he needs to get by. Mikkel is right behind Boomsma. So this might turn into a 3-way battle in LMP2, which is the first time we've seen that all night.
Oh no! My God! He's slipped! He's had a spin!
He has had a spin. He's only just got back going.
And
a
oh
hit
dear.
in the wall.
Oh. Let's get that chopper out.
Yeah.
He is missing his whole front end.
Now he is in the pit window. He's in the pit window, but he's not pitting. And he's lost the lead to Salenka.
Oh.
Sklenka is coming out of this like a rose.
I mean, Gaunt in the Hanson Brothers Corvette there, he's got no lights. He's got no nose. He's got no bonnet. I mean, at least he's got good cooling because the radiator
right there.
Yeah, but like he needs to pit. He needs to pit. He
absolutely needs to pit, and he's probably losing about half of his downforce right now with no nose. So, yeah, that car is getting a little slidey.
To quote Dr. Zoidberg, Mike, you have no nose. Your nose is gone.
Gotta love Futurama. Gotta love it.
Well,
drama continues.
I mean, he's back where he started, but I mean, that front end is not looking too good. I think we'll get a shot of it. as he comes around. Oh yeah. Oh dear.
Embry is 4 seconds off of Theodore? Wow. Okay. It's heating up, guys.
14 minutes to go now. And, I mean, look at Mike Gaunt's car. He really is in trouble. He needs to get into the pits now to stop the, stop
bleeding.
the bleeding of time that he would have. And we also have the battle heating up between Theodore and Jeff. You can see Jeff in the background just there as he is on his charge.
Gaunt is coming in.
I think that's a lap too late, though. I think he had to do it last lap. But then again, at the same time, unless you've got a spotter, unless you've got a cat or someone looking for you, you're not going to know exactly what damage you've got unless you see that meatball flag, that black and orange flag. So at the end of the day, he would have had to use that one lap to understand what the car was doing. And I think that's what he decided to do. So, brand new front, brand new car. The Chiefs logo is on the... Does that say Chiefs? It does say Chiefs. It's back on there. The 22 is there. So, he's got that car back. No tyres. All fuel. He's going. 23.
Oh, no, he would have... He's definitely gotten fuel. That's Elvis gone wide. Brian Boomsma back in third. Look at this.
Wow, he hasn't been here. Look at it. He has not been third since... He has not been this high since the start of the race, where he lost it into the first corner, and now he's back into third. It's boom, Brian Boomsma as he gets that third. All right, he's 17 seconds away from Eric, but he'll take a top 3 after where he was after 2 hours ago. What a drive from Brian.
He was dead last in LMP2 after the first corner. This has been a miracle drive for Brian Boomsma.
We're also going to keep an eye on this as well, because Michael Ettinen, he's outside that slipstream range, but he could try and catch Elvis right now, and that could be P5 for Elvis, and Michael Ettinen getting a P4, so it's still not over in the LMP2. Well, yeah, just still not over full stop. And also a key thing here is that Elvis pitted a lap earlier than everybody else. Eric and Mikel pitted a lap later than everybody else in the last stops. So expect to see Elvis come in first. And in fact, there we go.
Yep,
right. What a guess. Yeah, what a guess.
Will he take tires this time? He is slidey. Will Elvis take tires? He did not last time.
We'll keep an eye on that. It's going to take a while to see what's going on there. Just looking around. By the way, David Wilson Jr. is up to P5. Remember, he did not take tires. He took tires. Apology. He took tires on the last pit stop. He is a minute and 18 behind Salenka, which was who he was battling.
He took tires and then some. His stop was a minute and a half. Tires should make your pit stop just a little bit over a minute. He was in there for a minute and a half, so he got some damage that he had repaired as well.
So that might cost him. Like someone was saying, if you want the tires to work...
And Elvis did take tires. He short-filled and took tires. He's good for the rest of the race and on fresh rubber.
All right, so here's what I'm seeing right now. It's reading 89.95 in terms of the laps, which means we are going 90 laps. I owe Rob whatever the hell the Irish drink. I owe him that because it definitely is going to be a 90-lap race. I was thinking 91. Sean will have to pit, and that number will drop from 89.95 down to about 89.5. So it's definitely in that range of 90 laps. But if you don't know it, you're going to start questioning yourself, are we going an extra lap? What do I have to do here?
Sorry, guys. I'm going to correct myself. He's not good to the rest of the race. We're at lap 68 right now. If we're going 90, he needs to stop once more. Or stretch that tank. Really stretch that tank. He just did a short fill and got tires. His pit stop was 42 seconds. when you take tires and a full fuel load, you're 56. So he short-filled and took tires. So that means his next stop, he needs to take a full load. He is gambling that this tank will get him far enough that he just needs to... What is going on here?
I'll tell you what's going on. Go look at GTZ class, and go look at how close Jeff Embry is now caught up to Theodore. That gap has decimated, and now Jeff has prime. Yeah, and Jeff has prime attack mode on.
Wow, you say prime attack mode. They just gotta let that Porsche Zimmerman go by them right now. But here's the crucial thing: that Porsche is high up. Ooh. The GT3 there is Embry going to take the outside? He won't be able to take this. Theodore will have to take that position. So Embry's starting to make the questions, ask the questions, and does Theodore have the answer to these questions with 34 minutes left in the race?
You know, all he needs to do is sit behind. He's got a lap advantage in the stints, so he'll have to fuel less under any regard. And he's got Slipstream helping him along as Theodore dives into the pits, as does Jeff Embry. Oh! Braking! No way did he just come ahead. Side by side into the pits. You can see the two cars there. Into his box.
Jeff doesn't need tyres, by the way. Jeff doesn't need tyres. He could take tyres if he wants because he realizes he's right here with the leader. He took tyres last time. What does Theodore do? Problem is, Jeff can't tell what Theodore's doing because Theodore's right behind him.
He's praying.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens here, but that was a reaction move from Jeff. He saw that Theodore was coming in, and he thought the best thing to do was stay with Theodore. Keep that slipstream. And up goes Theodore. Theodore's on the jacks, and Jeff says sayonara. This is going to be interesting right now because there's not enough time. With 33 minutes to go, I do not feel there's enough time for Theodore to make that up. The early tyres may work out for Jeff here. It's going to be tight, though, because right now Theodore is going to be in the same position that Jeff was the last time they came in for tyres, where Jeff was at the back trying to catch up. Now Theodore's at the back trying to catch up on a car that's on 2 stint-old tyres.
Jeff has been handed a absolute gem. All he has to do now is drive it home. That's all he has to do. Keep the tyres in good check. Keep saving as much fuel as he needs to. If he is underfueled, I'm surely not. But I think Theodore, he's made the wrong decision. If he had stuck on those tires, he could have stretched them. They would have been absolute nightmare fuel, but it's only 32 seconds, or not 32 seconds of nightmare fuel, 32 minutes of nightmare fuel.
But here's the plus side, Rob. Here's the plus side, Rob and Mark. He's 9.5 seconds behind Ryan, who didn't take tyres when he came in for that emergency stop. So if Ryan's good to the end, Theodore's on brand new rubber. So we should be seeing, because Ryan stayed on those tyres for 2 hours now. I think Theodore might be able to catch up to Ryan. We've still got Rossman, who has to pit. And the gap between Rossman and Oliver is 13 seconds. So I'm just going to put it out there. I think Oliver might stay P3. Theodore might overtake Oliver, but Rossman unfortunately does have to pit, and here he comes.
We do have GTEs coming in. And an LMP2.
Oh, that's Salenko. That's the lead GTE. Yeah, it is. So Donald Salenko's in as well. There's a lot of cars in the pits right now. This is going to be one to keep an eye out for, because does Salenko take tyres? Again, here is this big question. Oh, I love endurance racing just for these reasons.
We missed Sean Brown's third pit stop. He did not take tires. Eric Feek is in there now. Heiko Kruger's in there. Jack Weddle is in there now too.
Keeping my eyes on Salenko. Thompson's also in the pits right now. He's just coming in. Does Salenko go on the jacks? I mean, he does not go on the jacks. He's going to stay. You can see as he comes out comes out the box, a little bit of sliding. So the lead, well, the old leader, Slenka, did not take tyres. Gaunt's got by. And that means Thompson is... So Mike Gaunt's back in the lead. After losing that nose, Mike Gaunt is back in the lead.
Mike Gaunt is back in the lead, but he has 5 laps in his stint right now. I think he can make it. It's
going to be touch and go, and if he gets held up by 2 lap cars, it's not going to help him. He has to just wait there. That is Apsey and Elder in GT3 and GT respectively. But where is Gaunt? Gaunt's just coming on to the oval. Where is Slenka? Just coming onto the oval now. Can Gaunt pull away? Because that gap's going to be, what, 5 seconds between them now? 6 seconds, sorry. That's going to be an interesting battle to start, to basically finish the race. And David Wilson is now in the pit. He took tyres originally, and he's not taking tyres now. But unfortunately, I think he probably took the wrong decision taking tyres early.
And guess who's on the podium in GTE? Flavio Figuccio is on the podium after his first lap shenanigans. He has made his way through the field, and he is in P3. But my God, after that big smack against the wall and losing his whole front end, taking a fast repair, he finds himself in the lead, and he may have enough fuel to make it the rest of the race here. It's up to Donald to track him down.
Flavio, I think, needs to stop again, though.
Flavio does need to stop again. There we go.
Why'd you ruin it, Rob? Why'd you ruin it?
I didn't ruin it. I did nothing.
I built it up too much. It's all my fault.
We don't blame everyone.
Sean Brown, just to go back to LMP2, Sean Brown is leading Brian Boomsma in second. So Brian Boomsma is currently in second. He did not take tires, and Eric did. So it's up to Eric to chase him down 3.7 seconds back. And then Elvis in fourth, and Mikel Etienne in fifth. That's your top 5. Jan and Jack, and Heiko Kruger has fallen back a little bit. He's in 8th now. Actually, his last stop was 2.5 minutes. What happened to Heiko Kruger?
I was looking at that myself, and I could not work it out. Seems
He
very
towed.
weird that he's taking.
He towed.
He towed. Wow.
What happened to Heiko?
According to the top stopwatch, he towed. Let's have a look.
It looks like he was...
Oh.
Did he blow an engine?
No. Hang on a minute. Let's go into his...
Did he run out of fuel?
He ran out of fuel.
And towed. Wow.
No! Heiko Kruger ran out of fuel and couldn't make it.
Oh, and that's lost him a lot of positions as well.
Back in 8th now.
Wow.
That's too bad for Heiko. He was where, in 6th, I believe?
I think he was up in 5th at one stage. I'm not...
That's too bad for Heiko.
That is such a shame. Right, so we're coming down to the last 26 minutes. Sean Brown has a 31-second lead over Brian Boomsma, who is himself just making sure he keeps that gap between him and Eric Fick. That 6-second gap in the GTEs. Mike Gaunt retains that lead after that scary moment at the bus stop. The lead is 7 seconds, and then at the back, well, we've still got Flavio waiting to take his pit stop, and Michael Thompson will probably get that P3 after that. GT3s are also looking very spicy right now. Ernbury is in the lead by 16 seconds over Ryan Oliver. He's got to defend against Theodore, 9 seconds, but the question is, can Ryan make it to the end on this fuel tank? That's going to be the crucial question right now. With 25 minutes remaining, I just, if you're a fan of Adrenaline Motorsport, if you're a fan of Ryan Oliver, just start clutching here because it's gonna be a close one.
So Ryan is currently 18 laps on a stint. In the GT3s, let me go to my notes. I believe it is 30 or 33 laps per stint. How many laps do we have left? There's more than 11 or 12.
It's about 15. I think it's 14, 15 laps left of these GTEs.
I don't think he's going to make it.
That's gonna be a tight. That is. I mean,
he's saving fuel. I don't think Ryan can make it.
We said that it would be possible he would need to go a couple more laps. But was the pressure of losing all that time too much? Did he just decide he had to go in?
I wonder if he made a split-second decision after he got passed by Jeff and said, I can't be out here anymore. I think he had a plan to run it into the pit window, and as soon as he got past, he was like, I'm losing too much time. I need to go in. He's going to need to pit one more time. He's now coming up on lap 19 of his stint. The cars are good for 30 or 31 laps. He's not going to make it. Ryan is not going to make it. But will he not make it to the point where he loses also third place and fourth place to Stefan Rossmann?
He's going to lose P. He's going to lose P3 because the gap's 8.5. Theodore did take tyres, I seem to recall. Rossmann, the gap between Oliver and Rossmann is 45 seconds.
Yeah.
So
33 by the looks of things, actually.
Yeah, 33. Now you see, if I'm Oliver and I'm looking at it right now and I know that I'm not going to make it, I'm pitting now. I'm doing that splash and dash now. I'm not going to try and expand the gap. I'm just going to surrender it and push because that might be my only way of doing it because then he's got the time to do it. If he stops, he loses about 23 seconds. But again, that's into the pit, that's out of the pit, that's coming around turn one on the inside in the pit wall there. It's still an ask, especially on such a big pit lane that Daytona has. So it's going to be a tight one. Again, keep all eyes on Ryan because, yeah, it's just what are we going to expect? And where did Ryan go? Ryan? Oh dear. Ryan just makes me jump for a moment.
Did he have a moment?
No, he lost connection to the server for a moment.
Oh. I'm scanning the rest of the field here just to see what we should be looking at. There's not a bunch of Kenneth Tier is right on Heiko Kruger. So Kenneth Tier was way at the back of LMP2. He is now on the diffuser of Heiko Kruger, who I think... Did Heiko Kruger just pass Kenneth Tier, or did that...
I'm not sure. I mean,
because Heiko did fall back.
I'm not entirely sure. I think Heiko... No, I think Heiko, when he came out after running out of fuel, he was able to... Yeah, came out just in front of Kenneth. And a bit of a twitch there for Kenneth through the second horseshoe and getting held up with this bookmarking there of Salenka right in the middle. So, yeah, I think it was just a case of just Heiko got lucky there, but you can see the pace as well, and also the traffic just working out for Kruger is able to extend that lead to about 1.5 seconds there. So that's what he wants. That's what he needs. The question is, can he continue?
It doesn't look like there's much going on in GTE right now. We kind of ran out of drama fuel with Mike Gaunt going into the wall. Donald Sklenka hasn't been able to catch Mike Gaunt. Last time we checked, he was 9.5 seconds behind. Now he's 10.1. Flavio still hasn't done his pit yet. He's 20 laps into a stint. Michael Thompson, he's a little bit slower than Mike and Donald right now. I can't see him making any moves. David Wilson, the last lap he did was a 43.5. He's 5 laps into his stint along with Michael. Stu Elder doing 42.6 on the last lap. He's 6 laps into his second or third stint now after his second pit stop. Thorsten Oliver Zimmerman, he's doing 42.7. Mark Day 43.8 after his brush with the wall in the bus stop, and it looks like he's still pretty dented up. Mark Day out, and he's off on the grass. Mark Day is off on the grass after 1. He saved it. Whew. That was a close one for the No Emission Motorsport Ferrari.
He's not a good day, has Mark Day. I did not mean to make that a pun. Frankly, he's still not got any steering damage. Continuing to drive the best of his ability with that Ferrari. It's just not been his race. But still, getting a PA out of this is still, nothing to go home and spill the milk over.
But a good recovery drive, if anything else.
Also, like you said, there's 1 retirement out of 34 cars. I mean, that's insane. That's insane in a race like this. And of course, a lot of it you could say is, well, everyone's just using this as well to help them build for Daytona 24 hours next week on iRacing. But at the end of the day, it is that case of, well, that's just, if we can get the positions, we can get the positions, and points mean prizes at the end of the day. They can just keep racing. So a lot of these guys as well, they want to keep going, because I think 75%, if you do not race 75% of the laps that the leader takes,
you don't get any points. No points. I just wanted to focus on one driver here really quick, and that's Brad Walsh. Brad Walsh has had a rough day, but I want to focus on him for a second, because after 2 really bad situations that Brad had to deal with, Brad is showing grit, and he's still on track. He's, not doing the quickest times right now, but he knows that if he stays on track, he can get those points. There was a split for Sportsman, so there is another Sportsman race going on right now that isn't being broadcast. And he knows that as long as he keeps going, he's going to get at least points for 10th. And if somebody else drops out, maybe if Sam Wadley drops out, maybe he can pick up points for 9th. But he's showing true grit today. I wanted to say that. Good on Brad after all the challenges that he's been dealing with today.
And not to mention as well, you want to finish this because at the end of the day, the Ironman trophy for the Major Series is something to be really proud of getting. Just being able to complete as many of the, not many, all of the races in the series in the year. So that's always Absolutely. Good. And just have that feather under your cap, just full stop, is a sign of a good driver. So
absolutely. Donald Sklenka's getting back into Mike Gaunt. He's still 9.5 seconds back, unless Mike has another issue. I think
I have to hit the table. Do I have to hit the table? Do I?
Yes,
don't
exactly.
Don't jinx it.
Exactly. Mike is coming out of turn 6 and onto the oval right now. Donald is just doing the same right now. He's right behind Theodore in the GT3 car. I can't see anything shuffling there. Flavio, we'll see where he comes back out. Oh, Flavio just had a moment where his car disappeared. But he's 23 laps into his stint right now. He's going to have to pit one more time. which might put him back into maybe 6th behind Stu Elder. We'll see how how the cookie crumbles there. Michael Thompson has just had a really solid drive. He's currently in 4th, right ahead of David Wilson, who's 38 seconds back of Michael. So GTE has really spread out at this point. Eric Fick is 4.2 seconds behind Brian Boomsma right now, and that's the closest gap in LMP2. I can't see that changing unless Eric, runs into issues again. Then we have, let's go back to GT3. They've really spread out too. Theodore is really the closest gap, Ryan and Theodore. There's a 6.5 second gap between those two, and we all know that, we believe that Ryan cannot make it to the end of the race.
Look at the time. I was looking at this. Look at the times. It was the 1:40.
Sklenka just went off the track a little bit. Sklenka, he's back on track now, but he went wide in International Horseshoe.
Bit of a lockup there, and this actually might help Theodore because Sklenka will get by. Theodore will go, I'd like some slipstream, because I could really use it, because it feels to me that Ryan is fuel saving.
Theodore's in front of Sklenka. Sklenka's coming back.
And this is a good idea here for Theodore. Let Sklenka get in front, use that slipstream, because if he uses it when he comes out the bus stop, okay, the gap's half a second, but Sklenka's only going to be, only going to gain a second down the straight. So all the slipstream he can gain just to help him will just help Theodore right now.
Oh, no. We've had an issue. Brian Boomsma. He's in the wall.
No way.
The curse has come to town. He's lost second place.
Oh, he's got damage on the front of that as well.
Brian Boomsma. Oh, man.
Now, where was this? You'll see on the replay right now. Is this the bus stop he's coming up to?
No, I think he lost it beforehand because he's definitely carrying...
Was it in turn 1? Yes, he looped it coming out of turn 1 and hit the inside wall. Not super hard, but enough on the driver's corner. Oh, yeah. Brian.
And you can see him trying to wheel that car. If you see in the replay, he's in the pits. He's got no choice. Oh, that's gonna affect him big time.
Oh, Brian.
We
were all rooting for him.
Oh, after everything. One mistake and he's got to take that slow.
No! Oh.
What happened?
That was Rob just reacting to the replay.
Slid out. And
he's now 12 seconds behind Etienne. He's 12 seconds. There's no way with 12 minutes to go you can make that time up.
No.
That is such a shame.
No way.
Oh, that's it's a shame for Boomsma after such a recovery drive.
But for every loser, there's a winner. That does put Eric Feek back up into second, right behind his teammate of Sean Brown.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something right now. That means Elvis is back in the building, baby. Elvis is back in the building, baby.
Is definitely back in the building. He is
back in the P3.
He is in P3.
You could say that he was way down in P6 at the start of the race, and he's got his Raceway shoes on, and he's back into P3, and I'm running out.
Sklenka is now 15 seconds off of Gaunt.
Yeah, those tires didn't work. Those tires did not work for him at all.
No, they did not.
And it's interesting because the tire battle worked out for these GT3s, but when it came to the GTEs, Wilson's not gained at all by taking that tire stop early. In fact, where is he compared to Sklenka? He is a minute behind Sklenka. So yeah, the tires for the GTEs did not pay off. For the GT3s, though, I think you've got to say that, that they have helped, and Oliver tried to make it work. Embry definitely made it work, no doubt about it. So that's one to be interested. That is something interesting to see. But again, the gap between Oliver and Theodore is 5 seconds. Oliver has to be fuel saving at this stage with 10 minutes to go.
He has to be, just to see if he can eat that BMW across the line without having to do a pit. Flavio will be coming up on his pit window in the next 6 laps or so. He's at lap 26. There are 2 other drivers that may or may not have to pit again. Thorsten Oliver Zimmerman and Mark Day have 23 and 24 laps apiece on their stint. Ryan Oliver, he's at 27 laps in GT3. That Adrenaline Motorsports machine, I hope he's dialing it back to see if he can hold on to that second place.
Oh, he is, because look at the...
Oh,
no.
Oh my God, what a
Crikey.
save! That is the 3rd time I've seen Ryan get super loose coming out of the kink. He just goes so wide. He lets a car through on the inside and just, he can't hold it.
Everyone had that.
God.
Everybody there. Wow. That
Wow.
was a moment.
That's the save of the race right there. Well done, Ryan.
So, I think...
Wow. Code Brown.
Wow. Code Brown, I mean, I hope he's wearing the brown pants. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
The brown overalls. But wow, what a save! Keeps
Speaking
it going.
Speaking of Brown, what a segue. Sean Brown, number 20. He is now 40. Oh, we just had an off. Mason Marzoff. We haven't followed Mason all that much tonight. He just went off in the first horseshoe. Mason is down in 8th in GT3. He caught the corner of my eye when we were looking at Sean Brown. Mason not having the best luck tonight in the.
Oh, and he just had another
Hanson
moment
Brothers
as well.
machine. Yeah,
He's just hit the wall coming into the entry of the pits. Not the pit, sorry, the entry of the oval. It's hit the wall, but he's okay. No serious damage on that. Oh, I say that. Does he have steering? No, he doesn't. It looked like he had a bit of issue, but no, it looks like he's okay.
Oh, no. Oh, the Zimmerman is around again, and oh dear, he's not having the best of days. He is.
Okay, guys, what you're seeing right now is old tires and light fuel, and humidity is 79%. These cars are not making tons of power, but they don't have a ton of grip right now, and they don't have the weight of that fuel pushing them into the ground. So we might see some more pirouettes here before the end of the race.
Something's happened to Eric Beck, because the gap was 9 seconds, and the gap is now 6 seconds between Elvis and Eric. Now, what is going on here?
Did Eric get around?
Did Eric get around, or has Eric been held up? That is the question. And I think it might be the latter, not the former. It is indeed the latter, not the former. Looks like Eric's just had a bad time. Let's see, it's a 136.3 for Feck as he comes around the corner. It's a 34.5. It's Elvis's fastest lap. Wow. And he is trying to pull. Just to say, he is he's doing this while he's trying to pull away from Michael Ettinen with 5 minutes to go. This is sprint mode right now. Absolute.
These cars are getting light. These cars are getting very light with low fuel. The air is cool, so they are running a bit quicker. But again, that relative humidity is going to come into play. This place is still a skating rink. You will see lots of twitching, especially out of the LMP2s. I'm just watching the 277 right now of Elvis. He's right behind the 26 of Jack Weddle as they try to get by Theodore, actually, up on the oval. But keep an eye on these LMP2s. They do twitch coming out of the corner. There's just not a lot of grip out there.
Oh, come on, Elvis. That's not the mood. Just hold it back against Ryan. Ryan, by the way, the gap between Oliver and Caponis is now 2 seconds. Oliver is definitely in fuel saving mode, and I wonder if it's I wonder if it's paying off for him right now, because he is trying to save that P3 at worst. P2 might be a tough cookie to swallow there, because they're starting lap 79 of their 82 laps. Oh boy, that's gonna be tough. Oh no, there's a spinner! Is that what?
Mark
Big
Day.
One.
There is chaos down there. Mark Day goes around. He goes around on his own. He hit the wall the inside. Did anybody else go around after that as well? It looks like Carl's had to take a basic reaction. Zimmerman went around. And then, wow. We have had the big one once again in turn 1 of Daytona. And they doing the safe thing in towing. They did the safe thing.
Lord,
Wow, Mark Day
God,
really hit
mercy.
that well. Oh, in the Porsche of... Who was the Porsche?
That was Zimmerman.
Day.
Yeah, that was Zimmerman.
Wow, these guys are just not...
And because of that evasive maneuver, Theodore's on the back of Ryan. And it would not surprise me if they're coming into NASCAR... No, I was going to say if they're coming into NASCAR 1 and 2, if Theodore could make the move, but there's a GTE of Flavio right there. Flavio's still not pitted, excuse me?
Flavio is on lap 30. He should probably be coming in the next 2-3 laps.
Is that a slowdown for Theodore? No, it's an off-track. Sorry. I thought that was a slowdown there for Theodore, but no, it is an off-track. As he continues to push Ryan, and I think with the speed difference between Theodore and Ryan, it's clear that Ryan is fuel saving. Theodore is just going to come side by side, BMW on BMW. Is Ryan pitting?
He's pitting.
He realized it. So, oh no!
He's not going to make it.
He's done it too late. This is what I mean. I think the best thing for him to have done was to do this early in the fuel stint, because where's Rossman? Where is Rossman right now? He's just come out the bus stop. That's going to be tight. Let's give it this 30 seconds, the gap. It's going to be a close one. 2 minutes remaining. In fact, I think Sean's about to cross the line for the penultimate lap of the race.
Where is Flavio? 31 laps and counting.
He might make it. If there's only 2 minutes left, he might make it.
By the way, Ryan is out, and he is 8 seconds ahead of Stefan Rossmann. So it looks like he's just managed to make it. But he was 2 laps short. So we were right in our predictions. And that's unfortunate for Ryan. He could have had that battle with Theodore, but even, you got to ask yourself, maybe he should have waited, or, maybe he should have taken that early pit stop. But that looks to be the end of the GT3 battles. LMP2, though's got a nice little battle brewing for P3, as Etonen is now 2.5 behind Elvis Banello, as Sean Brown is halfway through the penultimate lap. Two hours and 25 minutes, guys. 2 hours and 25 minutes, and it's, for some of these guys, it's going to come down to the final lap. Etonen on Banello. Boomsma is just, unfortunately, having the race he's had. Oliver needs to make sure he does not lose any more time to Rossmann. Gaunt has got that lead. Salenka is just holding on as well. So the only battles we're looking at is that battle between Etonen and Banello.
Flavio is at lap 32 of his stint. So that car is running on fumes in third in GTE. Can he make it? Can he fuel save enough to make it to the end of the race.
What a P3 that would be, though. What a P3 just for that fuel save. We'll wait and see. I'm still watching Essen and Benello, and it looks like Benello got held up entering the oval with Skenka just being behind there. Gap is now half a second, but Ettinen has to go high around NASCAR 2, losing a little bit of time. Comes back and gets the slipstream, but I'm pretty sure as they come here, Sean Brown is about to. He already is. He's on the white flag. This is the final lap of the race. In fact, Sean Brown he's already at the second horseshoe. He's already there at the second horseshoe while we just keep watching this battle between Elvis and Michael.
Can he get enough draft?
The final lap.
Elvis is coming in for fuel.
Oh,
No!
he's given up P3 on the last lap. No.
He's going to be giving up P4. He's going to be giving up P4. It's Boomsma. We'll take P4. Where's Boomsma? Boomsma's coming across the line now.
My God.
Sean Brown, though.
Drama.
What drama at the end of the race? But Sean Brown's had no drama. He's navigated the bus stop for the final time. There's just one car in front of him, and it's Michael Thompson. Michael Thompson will probably let him go so he doesn't have to do another lap. The first round of the European Sportsman Championship of Major Series goes to Sean Brown. Sean Brown wins the Daytona 2.4.
Now, where is Mike Gaunt? Mike Gaunt is on the oval after fixing that Corvette. He is on the straight. He's coming up to the bus stop. Flavio is also on his last lap. Glenka is 14.5 seconds adrift of Gaunt.
In fact, Slenka's right behind Jeff Embry, the lead GT3, so we're going to get all three classes finished. I don't know how Mike Gaunt's done this after that hit into the tires, but he's going to take the win in the GTE class. A great driver and a good little recovery there from Mike Gaunt.
Yeah, unreal drive from Gaunt. We've got Sklenka with Jeff Embry. And Jeff on a massive drive in the Lambo.
I mean,
unreal driving today. Unreal.
Embry made the tires work.
And he is lighting them up. Lighting them up. They're fresher than everybody else's. May as well put them to use.
Wow.
There we go.
That was amazing. And Boomsma gets that P4. Etienne gets the P3. Etienne kept that P3, by the way. So
he did come back.
Yeah. Benello gets that P4. What a race, though. And just the fuel strategies just did not work.
They didn't. Did Elvis even come back out on track?
No, he just he lost the plot, and he's gone.
And he's gone. But
he
the other
didn't come
cars were a
back.
lap back, so he just said, "Screw it."
He surrendered P3 for a P5.
Wow.
Wow.
He went
But
into
anyway.
the pits and
I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. What I'm not lost for words about, though, is Sean Brown dominating the race. 49 seconds is the gap between him and Eric Vieck, who comes home in P2. Mikael Ettinen returns into P3. And Brian Boomsma, what could have been, but whatever we say about Brian, he was last after the first corner of the race, and he comes back for a P4. Even after what could have been, that is still one amazing drive from Boomsma there. He takes P4. Elvis Manello does take 5th. Jan Broom takes the 6th, and Weddle will take 7th. Kruger finishes 8th. Kenneth Tier comes 9th. Dennis Hoffo in 10th. Mikael Hagstrom in 11th, and Andy Banfield in 12th. That is your top 12 of the LMP2s, because the GTEs, Rob, are next up.
In GTE class, it'll be Gaunt in first position after A very serious incident where his front end decided to not exist. Skalenka, amazing drive from him coming into second place. How on earth did Fabian in the number 29 car make it to third? How?
Flavio.
Flavio, no! No, I've done
Flavio
it now.
Figuccio
I've done it
in the
now.
Porsche.
I've done it now. He came third. How?
He did. He calculated it exactly the way he needed to calculate it. That was a well planned out final stint for Flavio.
I'm lost for words.
I can take over. Michael Thompson in fourth. David Wilson, who had his ups and downs, took tires early on. Didn't really pay off for him in fifth. Stu Elder in sixth. And Thorsten Oliver Zimmerman in seventh with that Porsche. Had a few ups and downs as well. Looped it there toward the end. Drew Lalonde in eighth, way back. Same with Corbin Solomson. Simon Thorns, who was way back for most of the race since the beginning. And Mark Day, unfortunately, hit that inside wall on turn 1, and he placed in 11th in class. So, Craig.
Those GT3s, though. Jeff Embry, what a drive. We mentioned it. Taking the early
story.
pit.
Unreal.
Takes the early pit stop, makes it. Theodore takes that P2. Ryan Oliver, what could have been. Those three gave us one hell of a show. Then Stefan Rossman, of course, in fourth. JD Crow with a couple laps down, as was Anderson and Aspie. Malzoff was 11 laps down overall. Dan Watley finished as well. But Brad Walsh was the only... Brad Walsh wasn't the only retirement. He finished, 31 laps? 31 laps down to the lead LMP2. Scott Kukas was the only retiree out of the 34-car field.
Unreal. To finish the Daytona 2.4 with this many cars at the end is... I think this is it might be a best for Euro Sportsman. Well done by all the competitors. Do we have some
We have
people
Brown.
joining
We have
us?
Brown.
We have Sean Brown, the overall winner of the race. Sean Brown driving that LMP2 off its socks. Congratulations for the victory, Sean.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. This was my first win in the major series.
Well, congratulations as well, because, I mean, it was a little bit... You made up 2 spots. Well, technically 1 spot because of the spin with Brian at the start of the race, but to keep so much consistency, especially with your teammate there behind Eric as well, just pushing you early on. Did the tires ever come into the question?
No, the plan was to double stint the tires both, but my teammate, he was like, I'm gonna try and triple stint and maybe do the quad stint, and it ended up not being able to work out as he had hoped. But the tires we were able to manage them pretty well. We have a good setup that we've been working on for a while to try and manage tires pretty well.
Unreal drive there, Sean. You were the class of the field today. What was going on in your head seeing, I guess, all that field shuffling with Eric and with Brian and Michael Etienne and the rest of them?
Yeah, coming into turn 1, and I saw him, Brian spinning, and I was scared for a second. And then me and Eric, we kind of just made our way through the field. And then he fell back down to third and then made his way back up to second. And it was awesome. We were just hoping for that 1-2 finish. And then third place caught up to Eric right at the end. We were freaking out about that, but glad that we got that 1-2. Yeah,
it was great to see that your team basically maximized the points that you could get in LMP2. Do you have anybody you want to thank, Sean?
Yes, definitely. So my team owner, Tom Wood, he kind of put our team together last year, and we really hit our stride this year. And Eric and our other teammate, Remy, we kind of built this setup together. Those two kind of did it a little more than I did and had more play into it. And we actually made some changes this morning and then rolled into this race with no test time. and they turned out to work pretty well.
Well, congratulations, Sean. Unreal ride.
I must apologize, because I didn't realize that Eric just joined us. And congratulations, Eric, as well, on that P2, because that, with Sean having probably almost the easier of the two races, you were pushed quite a lot there, Eric, especially at the end.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, it was really a tough race. Sean drove an outstanding race. I couldn't keep up with him.
How was the tire situation? We asked Sean kind of the same thing. He said that you were trying to triple stint those tires with the high humidity on track. How did that thing feel on the triple stint?
Well, I actually finished my triple stint with 65% wear in the rear. I considered going for the quadruple, but I felt that there may have been a battle at the end, and I also kind of misjudged it. I thought there was going to be 5 total runs, not 4.
Fair enough. With you battling, how were your nerves like trying to manage the tire situation, but also knowing that you wanted to get back up into second?
Well, it was just luckily we've been practicing a lot for the 24-hour next weekend, so I've gotten really comfortable driving in traffic and battling with this car over the last few weeks and months, especially here at this track. So it was kind of just another day. It's all about keeping the nerves calm and doing what you can, doing what the car will give you. You can't go beyond that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And do you have anybody you want to thank after this amazing drive that you guys put together?
Sean, did you already thank everyone on the car?
I think Tom, you, and Remy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to thank Tom, the owner of HW Racing. I want to thank all the sponsors on the car, OGO, GoPro, Stack Up, Pavilion Machine Tool, LLC. We have a really great crew, and it's really exciting to be a part of this team.
Well, it was an awesome drive to watch you guys. Thanks for putting on a show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks for hosting.
Again, there's one driver here now which I want to talk to. I want to hug. Ryan Oliver. It's unfortunate what happened, but a P3 after everything that happened, even then with the underfueling, that's still a great achievement in the race. But I do feel for you, because what could have been after what happened at the bus stop. Just talk us through what happened.
I mean, that race was an emotional roller coaster, wasn't it? There was some highs, there were some lows. It was
that's one way to put it, Ryan.
had a bit of everything, I think. No, I think the bus stop was you're just getting a little bit sort of unsettled around traffic, and then just made a mistake on the brakes and it slipped a little bit. I was triple stinting the tires as well, so was kind of not really sure how it was going to feel that late into the race, to be honest with you. So a lot of it was kind of just new ground, taking it easy, and just being a little bit nervous around traffic, to be honest. I didn't expect to be up the front at all. I literally squeezed into the last qualifying session yesterday. I think they had to put up an extra practice session just so I could be eligible for gridding. So it was kind of a last minute affair. So I was really surprised to be that far up. And yeah, just had a little bit of a bump and run at the bus stop, unfortunately. So I thought, all right, I've lost a lot of pace here on the front end, so need to stop. And then it was just a case of drive like a bat out of hell to see what I can claw back.
Were you fuel saving there at the end, Ryan?
Yes, desperately. but yeah, it just wasn't. You know, I kept looking back at the relative, and I knew that no matter what happened, I had, I think, P3 secured. It was just a case of, could I get P2 from Theo, who drove an incredible race. I've got to say that all the boys up front drove really, really well, and he was chasing me down. I mean, he was for pretty much the last 40 minutes, he was gaining about a second a lap. It felt like. So every lap, looking down at my relative, looking up at the fuel, lifting in the pretty much as where I could, but I had to push as well because I was going to lose the position otherwise. So did the math, but unfortunately it was just me, myself, and I for this one. So trying to do it all on my own didn't quite work out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to do it on your own. At the same time, you were mixing it up with Theo there pretty hard at the beginning of the race, and then Jeff kind of came out of nowhere.
Jeff was, I don't know what Jeff did, but that guy is like, I mean, at one point my crew chief was telling me that he was doing 2 seconds a lap quicker on old tires. Like, he just found pace out of nowhere and just drove like a rocket, because it was me and Theo for, I would say, probably the first 30-40 minutes just going at it non-stop, and we pretty much had him comfortably 5-6 seconds behind us, and then out of nowhere, all of a sudden he's in the mix, kind of slipping up into second and third. It was a real surprise.
Yeah, it was an incredible drive. You managed it well considering everything that you had to deal with there, with getting your damage and everything. So good work on the podium. And do you have anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I mean, I've been practicing a lot with the boys from Fury Simsport, which is the guys I usually race with for team events. So obviously a huge shout out to all those boys for the help where we can, sort of throwing a set together very last minute. We were using the baseline set, which says all you need to know really about the prep there. So very very thrown together. But yeah, it was awesome what we were able to pull together. Super happy with the P3 in the end.
No,
it's a shame what could have been.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you definitely had the car to be in first or second. Just unfortunate the way that it panned out. But Ryan, what a show, man! We were watching you guys tussle. I think we were watching GT3 more than any other class tonight.
It was fantastic to watch, guys. It was great. I mean, I'd love to say if Theodore and Jeff came in, I'd be saying the same. You three guys gave us a great show. It was fantastic to watch, and it was a great advert for what is the new GT3 cars as well. It's a shame it finished really due to fuel strategy and stuff. And I think Jeff as well with the tire strategy paid off well. But the fact that all three of you just kept it all together. I mean, you were only a minute behind each other. The gap was just a minute. That's nothing, and it was just fantastic to see you three guys racing. And it was a shame somebody had to come second and third, but all of you guys deserved the podium.
That's racing, isn't it? But I mean, when you look at that first stint, I mean, that for me was quality racing. Like you pretty much you can't get that much where else. I mean, that was really really good fun, and a lot of the credit goes all three ways there. Theo and Co did a really good job of not causing an incident out of what were some pretty sketchy moves at times. I mean, we were going for it. Let's put it like that. So I think credit goes kind of all three ways round because it's really on both drivers to facilitate a lot of the moves when you're racing that close. And there definitely were a few 0x's. So definitely it's a good fun. And obviously again a huge shout out to the boys as well for making that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for putting on a good show and. Again, incredible race. It was great to watch. It's rare that that any broadcast focuses that much on a GT3 race over an LMP2 race, but you guys just put on such a great show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back and watching it myself. Actually, it's going to be good fun.
Yeah,
reliving the highs and the lows, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks, guys.
Take care, man. Well, Rob. Well, Mark, we've done it. 2.4 hours of Daytona to kick off the majors, and what a way to kick it off.
We do have, though, one more thing. We do have a teaser for next week. Or not next week, but for the next... I wish it was next week, to be honest. But for the race of next round... There we go.
Yes.
Sorry, this was
I'm looking forward to this one, actually.
I should have shown this at the start, actually. This was the championship settings last year. And we had a few returning names. So the Sam Whatley, Scott Kukas, unfortunately, he had to retire. Now, let me see if I can find... I've left the mistake on my end at the end. So I've done good by my standards.
Professional.
While
he finds the trailer for it, I would just I'll play the spoiler. February 21st, Daytona 500. And if you think we're gonna go with these little, look at it. If you think, hey, let's bring out the stock cars. Nah. Not these new cars of tomorrow. Let's bring the old boys out. In celebration of Dell Senior's win in these cars, February 21st, the 1987 Daytona 500. That's where we're going next. We're going to be, I'm just going to stay in Daytona for a month. It's so nice down here. Forget about going home. I'm staying here, Rob. I'll see you in a month. You can fly back. I'm staying here.
Wait,
what? I can't wait for this.
What are you going to do for a month? Sleep?
Whatever I can in Florida.
You're just going to do it in Florida.
Pick up the sights and the sounds. But
right, okay, yeah, you do.
I'll do me, and I'll tell you what I will do. I'll do the shilling because once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. If this is your first time watching Raidillon TV, this is what you get every week. This is the only corner you need, of course, Raidillon TV. If you'd like to see more, every Sunday we do the Huskenveld GT Challenge, which I think we're doing later.
No, we're not.
We'll come back to you on that. We're not doing that tonight. We're not. No. But every Sunday, we do the Huskenveld GT Challenge here at 1945 GMT. Every Friday, we are the home of the European Sprint Series broadcast split every Friday, 1900 GMT. You will get announcements on our Discord, which is underneath the video, for the leagues coming up for us, because we have a loaded year ahead of us. Again, that Discord link underneath there. Once again, a shout out to trackcams22.com for these brilliant cameras. And I love how Rob got excited for the blimps because they were fantastic. If you like what you see, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button. We have membership for some really nice little emotes in the chat if you want to use those. And also, any money in the super chat, any money in the PayPal, you don't have to. You don't
and
have
also,
to. We just say that. Also,
before we end it off, make sure that you check out Major Series. Do it.
Oh yeah, I haven't got that yet.
Do it now. Do it right now.
Do it, because
1 second, guys. Before we go, guess who just joined Discord?
Who?
Brian Boomsma.
Oh, Brian, get him in here right now. Get him in here right now.
Well, Ryan, if you're here, please, by all means.
He's not here. Brian,
He's
get
not
in.
Here, unfortunately.
Please, I want to hear. What happened? What happened, man?
Right, Ryan's just going to be there and be like, I don't want to talk to you. You called my flag underwear. That's what he's going to be like.
He probably doesn't even know that yet.
No, that's a good point. If does he or does he not? We'll wait and see. This is live, ladies and gentlemen. You can tell it's live. How do you know it's live?
He just had such an up and down race. I want to
see what he says. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's. Yep. Yeah, he's. Yeah. There you go.
Brian.
He is here. Brian
is here.
I'm gonna say, Brian, if I had a driver of the day, it would be you, because that was a fantastic recovery. Even though there was that late issue, that the recovery drive from last up to fourth, well, third at one stage was fantastic. Second, second.
Yeah. I did my tire change at the second pit stop, so in my third stint. So I was looking at the times, hoping I was within 20 seconds of the number 2, and I was. So I was like 4 or 5 seconds ahead of him after the pit stop or something.
You had one hell of an up and down race, Brian. Had all the good. You had all of the luck. You had all of the good luck and all of the bad luck in one race. And
dude, I was so angry with myself. So angry. I was so nervous at the start because it's my first major race, and I was so nervous. So I immediately messed up.
Hey, it happens, especially when you're dealing with a track with 75% humidity. There's not a lot of grip out there. What was going through your head as you're like just trying to grapple back to at least getting on a podium again?
Yeah, that was the goal after I spun. What was going through my head? I was just thinking, floor it all the way down and see what happens. Yeah, because I can be fast on 1 or 2 laps, but consistency is something I really need to work on better. And that's what I learned today. It's especially I need to learn that better. But I was just hoping for the others to be a bit slower and me a bit faster, and overtake them on track.
With this being your first season in majors and running with a team that is affiliated with mine, thanks for putting Missed Apex up there. But do you have anybody you want to thank?
Of course. I want to thank the guys of Missed Apex a lot. Because of them, I'm here where I am right now, and I would really like to thank all of them.
I'm going to quote you from now on: "Floor it the whole way down and see what happens." I like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing you can do when you fall back to last place. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's lots of lessons learned, but you did show some raw pace out there. Good work crawling back, but I hope you have a better race next time, Brian.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I hope also it's gonna be better the next race.
Okay, have a good night.
Yeah, same guys. See you
Take
later.
care, Ryan.
Thanks
All
for
the best.
coming in. Well,
my shield got all that way, and then I had to stop. But I've done everything. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. It's been fun doing this, and I think Rob is also hyping up next race, which is the Americas race, which will be on the Esports Broadcasting Network. Link is in the chat right now.
Where's
I think it's time for us to start.
Where's
What?
GSRC? Where are they at?
it's on GSRC. Yeah.
GSRC, yo, what's up? Where's your
GSRC is doing pro, but Esports Broadcasting Network is doing Sportsman
Yeah.
for Americas.
And we of course we will be able to find you the links, and there they are exactly, and we'll be able to get them, provide them to you if you need them in our Discord, of course. Tell them we sent you because you've watched fantastic racing for 2.5 hours. I think that's time to wrap it up. So let's see if Mark gets this right, Rob, because I am Craig King.
I am Robert O'Brien and Mark.
And I'm a fake American, Mark Stevenson.
Yes! Yes! This is Raidillon TV, the only corner you need. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Night.